It's been a hot week, but we're back. At least I'm back. So you're back too.
You've always been here.
You have. Yeah, that is true. But you have more been here, and now I'm here as well. So yeah.
The week ends and worst girl returns.
Thank you, Psycho and Skinner. Congratulations on being everything in that order as well.
First, second, and third Spider Gazelle. Nice.
Happy X Day!
Happy X Day.
Mattenart, congratulations with Groundhog's birthday today.
Everybody, congratulations on Groundhog's birthday today.
Congratulations.
Gefeliciteerd is the Dutch day. How
so it's not
doing?
even Happy X Day, it's Happy Groundhog Day today.
True, it is indeed Happy Groundhog Day, which is funny in a way because I feel like last year on Groundhog Day we played a game where time kept repeating. I forgot what exactly we did, but it was something. Zero Time Dilemma.
I was gonna say it and then I'm like, are you not saying the name because of spoilers?
No, I had forgotten.
Or did you actually forget?
Yeah, I remembered the series, I forgot the game.
Yeah, that's right.
I forgot which game we were playing. So last year on Groundhog Day, a story about time travel. This year on Groundhog Day, a story that appears to have time travel elements. And just in saying this, Groundhog, welcome in. Happy birthday.
The one and only. Happy birthday once again. Congratulations on Groundhog's birthday.
Mommy, happy birthday. Happy Groundhog's birthday. Hello, Mommy. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Sunday. How are you all doing? GG for making it another year. That is certainly a way to congratulate somebody on their birthday.
If we were in the Netherlands right now, I would be going around with a platter of cheese and sausages with a little toothpick in it.
Pigs and blankets.
Not pigs and blankets.
It's already evening. It's time for like after dinner snacks.
No, you don't do pigs and blankets for a birthday on the Netherlands. You get cheese that you cut into blocks.
Yeah.
And you put a toothpick in there.
Yeah.
And you put it on a platter. And then you get like sausage.
Crackers. No crackers?
You can do crackers too if you have like a brie on the side. But then you do like sausage that you also cut into blocks and put it on a platter. And then you go around and everyone can pick one piece.
All the things you ever heard about the Dutch are true. Everything.
Yes, they are.
Everything. I've been staying too long, unfortunately, waiting for lunch to get here, also known as my dad to get back with bagels. Ooh, I want
nice.
bagels now too. But that's perfectly fine. Please enjoy. Yes. Thank you for being here to begin with. I mean,
do you have any other plans for your birthday? What did Mattenart get you?
One mention.
Wait, One Piece. When did we mention One Piece?
You know, it took me like a year of. Usually it's Psycho going, One Piece mention, and half the time I didn't realize. But it's basically every time one of us says One Piece. Like, oh, the other day I had one piece of cheese. Yeah, exactly. And then, One Piece! One
piece of cheese, yeah.
You know, contextual clues are important to me.
Yeah, very true. Apparently my joke message about I forgot that Groundhog had a birthday didn't actually go through since it isn't showing up on the overlay or Groundhog's chat.
Yes, it did not go through.
Indeed, not go through.
Twitch doesn't allow you to self-report like this, not enough. It's a safety feature. Bezos knows your relationship, so it saves you from yourself, from your own honesty in a way. Yeah.
Ooh. Suddenly I feel like bagels.
I do too. When are we getting bagels again?
With like a nice layer of cream cheese.
A schmear, I think.
And maybe
it's called
egg on it. Oh yeah, I could do it. I could do without.
Nah, freshly toasted bagel, mashed avocado, scrambled fried egg, some salt and pepper, and bacon. And maybe, if you're feeling fancy, slices of tomato.
I love it. How about next week? We have to go to town to pick up a package anyway. And technically, if we make a little detour, we could pick up some bagels too.
Why do we need to go to town to pick up a package?
Because it will be there on the 7th of February in the store.
You order too much.
I do.
Oh well, the things I do for love. Just gonna hang out today. Had a family dinner yesterday and watched Wicked again. It's so good. How was your dinner?
Oh,
but Wicked
yes.
is so good. Everybody, if you haven't seen Wicked yet, go watch Wicked. This is not an advertisement, but it's changed my life.
I think I've seen Wicked like 5 times now. Yesterday we watched Rent, now that we're talking about musicals, and I don't know how it can be that I've never even heard about it or have seen Rent, but that was also really good, I gotta say.
I had heard about Rent, especially around the time Tick Tick Boom got released on Netflix. Because
Even that I had never
related.
heard of. Or I just skipped past it, I don't know. But Wicked, so good.
Twitch already knew I made the joke on Discord. Yeah, but still, you know, you need to broadcast it everywhere. It makes sense. Scrambled fried egg. My brother and eggs. That's 2 completely different ways to cook an egg. Is it though? Okay, so here's what I do, and then you tell me which one I made, alright? So I take a pan, I put that on the hot plate, and then I let that heat up. Then I spray some oil in there.
Wait. The moment you scramble it, it's already scrambled.
Then I spray some oil on there. Then I prepare my eggs. If I'm really fancy, I take some, crack some into like a little bowl, mash them up with some salt and pepper and a little bit of water for consistency, for texture, consistency. And then I pour that in there. And then I start swirling.
That's scrambled.
And then, when it has settled, when there's no liquid goopy bits anymore, I still leave it in for a moment. And then it gets this like slight brownness crisp. Just describe scrambled eggs, but they're crisp, slightly crispy, so they're also fried. But
Yeah,
okay.
But the moment you scramble an egg, it's a scrambled egg. It's fried if you just it in the pan and leave it and maybe flip it.
Scrambled eggs. There you go. Bagel, avocado, mashed avocado, some spices, scrambled eggs, the whole shebang. There you go. The details, man, the details.
Why
But
don't
fair
you
enough.
refuse to listen to them?
If I order it with a fried egg, they'll bring it to me sunny side up or sunny side down, and then I won't be as happy because I prefer mine scrambled. You have a point, Mott, or not?
Oh, I also miss a nice sunny side up egg.
I'm always sunny side up. Actually, that's a total lie.
With a nice runny yolk. Oh.
No.
Gotta go eat now, have fun, enjoy your
Please
lunch,
enjoy.
the rest of your day
Please
as well.
enjoy.
All of it.
You're describing a hard scrambled egg as opposed to a soft scramble. I will start a war over this, but not now.
I assume you're with Groundhog, so enjoy your lunch as well, Matanart.
Yes, please. Yes, please. We can squabble about this later.
Sing for us as well.
Yes.
Is that the one with Rosario Dawson?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yeah, then what he said. I know faces.
The lady who doesn't age. She also played Ahsoka in Ahsoka.
Yeah.
I think Disney is relatively lazy with some of her naming. Like a show about Ahsoka from Star Wars is just called Ahsoka. Hope I pronounce that correctly. That's how you say it in German.
She's a vampire.
She has to be.
There's no other
She
explanation.
has not aged in 20 years. How does she do it? I'm envious.
Whenever I try to fry an egg, it gets stuck on the pan no matter how much oil I use. That just means you have a shitty pan.
Either the pan just isn't good for frying eggs. That can happen. Like we have 2 different types of pans. One is amazing at it, and the other, everything sticks. Everything will stick. The trick I found is with a more sticky pan, the pan needs to be properly hot first. Not super hot, but it starts melting, but hot enough. So keep at it, keep trying, keep making eggs. One day you'll find right temperature, hopefully.
You need a new pan, Psycho, that's the easiest.
All that.
Black don't crack, that's why. Yeah, there's not a crack on her, that's for sure. Yeah. Because I realized during the movie, I was like, Rand, okay, it's probably not that old. And then Hendrik had mentioned that he got a tattoo when he was 16, based off of Rand. And I'm like, wait. This movie is older. I'm not saying Hendrik is old, but it's like not from the past 3 years.
Hendrik is aging like fine red wine. The movie came out in 2005.
Yeah, but it made me realize that this movie wasn't like 2 or 3 years old. Even though Hendrik probably based it off of the Broadway show.
Possibly.
And I was like, wait, she still looks exactly the same.
You can watch anything with Miss Dawson in it. Can't speak today. It's one of those days again. And she will look basically the same.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I didn't know she could sing.
Same.
I've seen her in several things, don't ask me what. Because I don't even remember that. And I don't recall her in a role where she sang.
Let me pull up a filmography of Rosario Dawson. Men in Black 2. She was in Men in Black 2? Alright. She was in Sin City, she was in Rent. She was in Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief. I think I've seen that one. I don't recall any of it.
Yeah, I've seen it, but the movie wasn't that interesting. I've actually not seen her in as many things as I thought I did, apparently. Hey, she's in The Mandalorian too, isn't she?
I'm scrolling down, I'm about to find out. It's a long list of things she's been in. Which is great, I like her.
Wait, she's in the Lego movie. Oh, then maybe...
She's in the Lego movie?
Yeah, up. I saw something with Lego... There. Oh no, the Lego Batman movie.
She's Barbara Gordon in Batgirl. Spoilers for the Batman franchise. Barbara Gordon in some iterations is the Batgirl. Or just Batgirl. Where were we? She was in Daredevil too.
She had a SpongeBob SquarePants episode. For real?
Yeah, she played herself.
True for Square. I do not remember that episode. Whatever, she in Mandalorian.
Yeah, she was in Mandalorian because she plays Ahsoka Tano. And then later on she reprised that role for the show. Ahsoka.
Yeah, but I forgot that was her.
She needs to be in even more stuff.
Yeah.
No, tomorrow is Monday.
Monday is always Labor Day. And Tuesday. And Wednesday.
In the Czech Republic, the 1st of May is an official and national holiday known as Labor Day. I'm not gonna try to say the Czech version because I cannot speak Czech.
I was seriously shocked for a moment and I was like, May.
No, it's only February.
Yeah, something doesn't add up here.
Yeah. Because funnily enough, it's the 1st of May in Germany as well.
I was thinking, wait, aren't we off too then?
I don't know if that's an accident or if everybody just agreed that like people generally should get a day off when the weather is nicer, not in winter, but like, you know, spring. So 1st of May is nice, but oh yeah, I forgot.
Tomorrow is the type of Labor Day where you're not off.
Yeah, where you do labor.
Yeah.
Man, Labor Day is the 10 days a work version. What?
10 days a week? Wait, what?
You're talking about 10 days long week. Where are we?
I was gonna ask you.
I'm confused.
Are you okay, Gaming Check? Am I okay?
Some time ago. Gaming Check. I don't even remember what I had for dinner yesterday. Listen, I appreciate it that your long-term memory is suitable to remind us of this. Thank you. I'm gonna say with yes, we must have talked about this at some point, but it's gone. The thought's gone.
Also, she's also in The Runway. Welcome to the...
Rundown.
Oh, The Rundown and Welcome to the Jungle.
True. With
Sean William Scott and Dwayne Johnson. Who's Sean William Scott? Who's
Stifler.
Who's Stifler again?
American Pie, Stifler.
I know the name. I know the show, but I don't see his face.
Sean William Scott. You know him.
Yeah, I've never seen the American Pie.
You have seen Welcome to the Jungle. She has. I was in the room with her.
But whoa, William Johnson. With Dwayne Johnson? No, it doesn't ring a bell either.
Yeah, it's the...
George, the Jungle?
Spoilers for the movie Welcome to the Jungle with Sean William Scott and Dwayne Johnson. Yeah, it's the one where Stifler is playing this guy who goes to the jungle for some reason. I think like his dad is a mob boss or some shit like that. And then The Rock is sent there to get him, and then they kick the bad guys' asses. And then in the end...
is that the Disney one?
I think it might have been made by Disney. I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
It's one where The Rock goes, oh yeah, you know, if I wasn't in this line of work, I would love to open my own diner or cafe or something. And then he steals these weird paralyzing fruit, and then that's one of the gags in the movie, that he feeds that to people and they get all high and stuff. Because they eat them first.
I think that's the Disney movie.
Steph also goes to pee in the river, and Rosario says if he does that, the Blena's fish will swim up his pintu. However, she said it. Yeah, true, she didn't say penis. She said something else.
I don't remember much of that movie.
There you go.
If it is the one I was thinking of, it wasn't that good.
I think, thinking back on it, it's the first movie where The Rock plays The Rock. Like if you put all of the movies that have Dwayne Johnson in it in a row, there's a red thread. And it's essentially that he, 99% of the time, he plays exactly the same character. He makes the same faces, he says the same, if not very similar things.
He plays like this one typical role.
Yeah.
And in most of the movies he does, it works, it's enjoyable.
Yeah, but after like so many years of The Rock, at some point you'll go, I've seen it.
At some point the Rock movies are like its own genre.
Yeah.
Like Adam Sandler. Like, you know, the moment you go like, okay, it's an Adam Sandler movie, I know what I'm signing up for. In like 99% of the cases.
You know what?
He does have some.
You know what the craziest thing about Adam Sandler is, though?
What?
He can actually act.
Yeah, I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying, like, Adam Sandler is like its own category. He has some gems in between.
I still think we need to watch Spanglish, because that movie opened my eyes to Adam Sandler as an actor. It's not a comedy, it's a romantic drama kind of movie. Spoilers, not spoilers. You can see that when you look up a movie. It hurts. That movie hurts. And it's partially because Adam Sandler acts the way he does, and it is so good. In my memory, I haven't seen it in 20 years.
I think the first movie I've seen of Adam Sandler, which I seen like 100 times, I think, was 50 First Dates. Watched the shit out of that back then.
First movie I watched with Adam Sandler was Little Nicky, I think.
But that doesn't ring a bell.
Or Happy Gilmore.
Also doesn't ring a bell. Also, no, I was not thinking of the Tooth Fairy.
Wow.
Wait. Wow. I'm gonna look up the Disney movie if it was actually that one. Disney movie with The Rock.
Gaming Check, thank you for adding a comment. I will do that after the stream, because with a random chance that will take me a moment to set up.
Oh no, I was thinking of Jungle Cruise.
Oh yeah, that one I found really boring. Yeah.
Then
no.
I don't think I know Welcome to the Jungle.
Again.
Jungle Cruise is what I had in my mind.
She has seen it. I was there. Also, which movie? Spanglish. Spanglish. Yeah. Always excited to see People's Champ, aka the Brahma Ball, aka the final boss, aka the Great One. Skinner, I'm happy that Dwayne pays you all that money for the propaganda.
Weren't we at a point where everyone had to cancel Dwayne? I don't think he was the People's Champ for a long time.
No.
Are we past that already?
People were, for a little bit of time, I believe rightfully, mad at Dwayne The Rock Johnson because he appeared in a fundraising thing with Oprah, where they both went, Hawaii is burning, please donate money. He and we put in $1 million, which to Oprah is nothing because she's literally a billionaire. And to Dwayne Johnson is also not much because he is also filthy rich. So
after that there was
two of the richest people going like, can you please donate because the neighborhood around our houses, not ours, the people around us. has
It wasn't
burned down.
just that, because I also remember, I think that was just Oprah, I'm not sure if it was The Rock, like only paying to keep her own house protected
Yes.
from the fires and let all the houses around her burn. I think that's when the no longer the people's champs started.
Yeah, he later on like backtracked a little bit on this, like, yeah, we should have done this differently, I understand why people got mad. So I don't know if he actually understands or if he just said that because, you know, it feels like the right thing to do at that point. But I never cared for Oprah because she was in this too. Now I have an Oprah thing.
I mean, same.
I never cared for her because I didn't get the hype. But I remember distinctively that one moment I saw her in. She was a guest on The Daily Show with Trevor Noah. And Trevor gets to interview her. And he goes, so you're Oprah, you're Oprah Winfrey, you are super rich, everybody loves you, you are like a godlike being to everybody here in this country. What's something that makes you still really down to earth, that makes you really just like connect with people? What makes you grounded and normal? And she goes, without missing a beat, I really like avocados. I love avocados and they're so expensive. And then everybody's like, yeah, ooh, we like avocados too, and they're expensive. Hey, boo, Oprah. But then she keeps talking. And then she goes, yeah, so I actually got my own avocado orchard, I hate that word, where I just grow my own farm worth of avocados so that my staff travels with avocados with me, so I can always have perfect avocados wherever I go and I don't need to buy them. And you can see in Trevor's eyes that he's like, and he even says something like, do you understand what you just did? Because you went from I like avocados to I own avocado. Like,
I think at some point you're just not down to earth anymore.
I disagree because a lot of people lose that at some point, but not everybody. There are so many stories of Keanu Reeves being met by fans when he uses public transport because like, yeah, I need to go there and there's an underground, so I need to take the underground.
You have like exceptions.
Yeah, Oprah
There
is
are
one
exceptions, but I want to say those are in the minority, which is okay. I don't know what I would do with that much money.
Well, I want to say this. If I had katana money, aka avocado orchard money, I don't think I would go on television and go, yeah, I'm the most relatable person on earth. I am so down and with it, you know, I'm just Jack from the block like I always was. Me and my truckload of 75,000 avocados that are blocking up the road right now. No.
Well, who knows? Maybe one day you get to find out. Hate that I can't talk with English-speaking people about movies. I only know the Czech names, and they're so weird. Germany has
That's
the
the
same
same thing.
kind of thing. There are some movies where they decide to keep the title.
And then give it a German subtitle.
Yeah, and just give it a German sub. But some of them get a completely new name, and then it's like, what the heck are we talking about?
Yeah. American Pie is called fucking, little fucking. Okay.
Sounds about right.
That's not only what the movie is about. I feel like that's the main draw, kind of, or the main motivation for at least half the characters, from what I remember. But
Wait, American Pie is a movie. I thought it was a series. Also, suddenly I have a deja vu. Did we not already have a discussion about this?
yes, it really is Groundhog Day today. Yes, we've talked about this multiple times. Usually every time somebody brings up American Pie. Because you say you haven't seen one.
I haven't.
And I'm still shocked because they were everywhere.
Yeah, I know, but I never felt the need to watch it.
Tifa hates American Pies, confirmed. There we go.
Okay, we're gonna watch them at some point.
Sit like a human, Tifa.
I am totally sitting like a human.
I didn't see them either. To be fair, with a title like that in your country, I don't think I would have watched it either. I saw it when it became a cable TV thing. Like, I didn't see it in the cinemas either.
Oh, like that. fair enough.
Jack, if you packed on some more muscle mass and became a wrestler with me, you could be the new Der Ringgeneral.
Jack's working on it. He has already gained muscle.
Where? I don't feel like I have.
Oh, you've gained a bit of muscle.
That's not muscle. Thank you for, I guess, implying that you do want to see me in tight spandex. But I don't think so. I couldn't go to the gym yesterday because, like, first day I went to the gym and doing back exercises I must have pulled something. Like I can move my head a little bit, but the moment I like arch my back or like curl over forward, it goes all the way from my neck over my shoulder to my ass. So this weekend I've mostly been sitting like this, trying to not flex any muscles, and I can move everything else just fine. But yeah, I had to sit like a human, you know. So, also I don't think German wrestlers should put any like military names up there. Like, bad taste of my memory.
No, Ring General would still work.
Also, why the new one? That's implying that there's an old one. Can I Google that, or am I gonna get shut down immediately? Ring General. Okay, there is already a wrestler from Austria who went with that name. Okay. Alright.
Did he change his name to Gunther from Walter?
So he is born Walter Hahn. His ring name now is Gunther or Gunther, I guess, because it's easier to pronounce for English-speaking audiences. He used to go by Walter.
That seemed so much easier.
And his ring names: Big Daddy Walter, Big Fun Walter, Herr Shark, Gacha Ping,
Walter.
Best known by his Ring General gimmick. Yeah, I didn't know about that person, and I will forget about him immediately.
I feel like I know his face, but maybe he just looks like an actor.
It's like he's a Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci, all three from the Imperium. For all I know, you're doing JoJo references right now.
I think the most wrestling I've ever seen was in a movie with Jack Black.
Oh, the one where he becomes a wrestler, a luchador.
Yeah, but I forgot the name of that movie.
I think it's something with lucha in it, actually.
Nacho Libre, yeah,
yes,
that one.
Yes, that one.
That is the most wrestling I've ever seen.
Yeah, same. And I don't even recall most of the movie. Life is a JoJo reference. Wait, Tifa, quick JoJo pose with me. I can't with my back, I'm sorry. Great, no, I want nachos and I don't have any. Thanks, Tifa.
Sometimes I also really crave nachos, and we never have nachos at home. Except for like then you walk past, and then they have like this huge bag, and then you suddenly go, I want nachos.
I once made the mistake of going to a restaurant bar kind of thing with a couple of colleagues, and I wasn't feeling too hungry, so I just had a cocktail and I ordered loaded nachos. A plate of nachos with some jalapenos, some cheddar on top, back when I was still eating meat, and some ground meat on top, and some like guacamole, salsa, sour cream. I ate the entire plate myself. I'm pretty sure I consumed enough salt for like 4 weeks.
Oh, we could do that for dinner.
No, we don't, Tifa. I will die.
I want nachos for dinner. Next week.
No, you're not gonna have nachos for dinner. You can have nachos on the side with something else, but you're not gonna just have nachos for dinner. We're too old for that. Our bodies will not be able to sustain that damage. No.
I'm willing to take that risk.
Tifa, part of growing up is understanding that you cannot have nachos for dinner. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't. And because we really shouldn't, we won't.
But part of growing up is knowing I shouldn't have nachos for dinner, but still be able to do it anyway.
Again, we are able to. We do have loaded nachos for dinner money. But we don't have loaded nachos for dinner bodies. That's the problem. The problem isn't eating them, the problem is afterwards we won't be able to enjoy them. Because one of us will need to go to a hospital. I see the twitch, but skill issue, yes. Yes. Maybe one day I'll find a way to just recycle all the liquids going through my body and imagine being like Oprah level rich and like knowing like junk food is bad for you. So you use your I own my own avocado orchard money to be put on a dialysis machine while you eat them. That way the salt and the bad fats, they won't attack you. You're having your blood filtered at the same time. Like, I don't give a fuck, I'll just eat this shit.
That's the future.
I think, no listen, I think if you go to the point where you literally have your blood filtered by a machine so that you can eat the nachos, you know you're going too far.
Well, best case you have like this little pump before the food hits your stomach and it just sucks it out of you. So you can eat whatever you want.
Somehow that's worse. No. We shouldn't prove the Unabomber, right? Humanity has gone wrong. Where were we? The entrance music is a remix of Dvorak's Ninth Symphony.
Of Nacho Libre or...
Skinner, I think you have fallen too deep into the wrestling hole. If you can still hear us, normally people say don't go into the light, but please do. It's not death, it's the end of the tunnel. You can get out of this. Just saying. You know what you cannot get out of though? Tifa's recaps. And you better nail this one because it has actually been a week since the last time we played Higurashi. So, Tifa, what has happened the last time we played Higurashi When They Cry Chapter 5 Meakashi, also known as Higurashi When They Cry?
But since it's been a week, there's less chance to nail it.
Are you not prepared?
No.
Well,
the last time we played, Shion decided to, or asked Mion to swap for a day with her so that Shion was able to go to school and talk to
Satoshi, who she has the crush of a lifetime on, but Satoshi, for reasons that we didn't fully understand, apparently because he had started a part-time job, didn't shop for baseball practice. Why do I keep confusing baseball and basketball practice? He didn't shop for baseball practice anymore. Shion got sad, so she wanted to meet him in school to also maybe apologize for some of the things she said to him.
So we decided to swap places, and Satoshi has been a bit depressed the past couple of weeks, distancing himself, doesn't really talk to anyone, all of that, so of course we wanted to talk to him. During the lunch break, he quickly walked off, we went after him, and he basically
no, leave me alone.
Shooed us off, didn't want to talk to us.
I work like 600 part-time jobs on the side to make some money because I do that and I just need some quiet time. Leave me the hell alone. Go away.
Well, it also seemed to be a bit personal because when we asked what we did wrong, he was like, oh, why do you even ask? No, that was during the lunch break. That kinda made a snap. Satoshi just walked off and we started blaming Satoko even more because obviously this was all Satoko's fault that he acted like this. We went back in the classroom and Satoko was actually crying because she dropped her empty bento box when she bumped into someone and was scared to be reprimanded from the looks of it.
She had eaten already, she wanted to go clean it, she bumped backwards into a classmate and accidentally dropped it and already was having like a breakdown about it.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, and repeating it for emphasis.
So she was crying, which made us even madder at her, because why is this bitch crying? Why can't she do anything? So we start beating her up. We throw...
No, I'm sorry. No, you cannot just go, so we start beating her up. So...
It's a recap.
Shion has a full-on breakdown rage fit. And first she starts yelling at her that this is all your fault, Satoko. This is all your fault. Now you're crying. Satoshi is out there feeling like crap, and it's all your fault. Why don't you do something? Why don't you just be more mature? Why don't you stop crying? Why don't you just stop being a problem? So then Satoko, of course, has more of a breakdown, because how could you not in this situation? And when Shion goes full insanity, pushes her, starts throwing books at her, grabs her by the head, slams her into the wall, throws her down again. Rika throws herself in front of her to stop this. Shion, going to the wrestling now for you, Skinner, you might enjoy this chapter of Higurashi for what it is. Shion grabs a chair, even knowing this will really hurt him. Satoko, why don't you just fucking die? And wants to smash it on them. When thankfully Reina steps in and stops the situation together with Satoshi.
He's got the steel chair. It is a wrestling move, isn't it?
But it's all fucked up. It's no.
So yeah, things kinda got out of hand. Satoshi came in, stopped us from beating up his little sister more. Reina started...
Also blowing up on us. Like, why do you torment us? Why does the Sonozaki family do all of this? Like, why do you get off on this shit? What the fuck is this?
Basically, it makes sense. Reina tried to defuse the situation, made everyone apologize.
Yeah.
Asked us not to tell the teacher, or asked everyone not to tell the teacher about this because the situation was now already resolved.
Yeah.
So yeah, things did not go very well that school day. We didn't talk to Satoshi anymore after all of that, which is probably for the best. We had to explain to Mion what happened at school because, we were pretending to be Mion. So it was Mion that turned into this bitch.
This bitch, I'm sorry. Shion literally said Satoko should die.
No, she said she will die alone.
Something like this. And then she took a chair trying to smash it into her head. I'm sorry, no.
So yeah, school went well.
Just another average day in Hinamizawa, really.
That's like this first day at school sort of thing, technically, for her, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's always a disaster.
Yeah. I totally get it. Who hasn't been there, right? Like, yeah.
So yeah. Even though at some point Satoshi called Mion wanting to talk to us, and Mion understood that he probably wanted to talk to Shion, so she was like, oh, I'm busy, please call this number. So he got to Shion in the end. That's how we got the phone call.
No, Mion called Shion to let her know so that Shion could call Satoshi.
Other way around then, not important details. During the phone call, Satoshi once again apologized for how he behaved.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why he had to, but...
He apologized for going to the Oyu Sonozakis. Because that was uncalled for. That's what he said. It's like, she tried to kill your sister in school. Like, with physical violence.
Which makes it even weirder that he had asked us to take his sister to the Watanagashi festival.
Because Mion, he says he's talking to Mion, is the only one he can ask.
He's the only one he can count on, so please take care of our sister, and not just for tonight, but keep taking care of her. And we basically go like, no, I hate your sister, so I don't want to.
Do this? Why would I?
So in the end, Satoshi does convince us to take his little sister to the Watanagashi festival, even though he's a little bit disappointed from the looks of it on how Shion replied, which makes sense, but it was a kind of an eerie conversation which made it seem like an actual goodbye, which, as we kind of know from previous chapters, it is.
It should be. Satoshi also started talking about, he started breathing weird. Do you believe in the curse of oyashiro-sama? And then she went like, no. That didn't quite work out either. It seemed like he wanted to talk to her about it, but he was like, yeah, no, whatever. Yeah, please take care of my sister forever. It very much seemed like he does not plan to come back after whatever happens at the night of Meakashi.
And that was it.
Not quite. And afterwards...
we saved that phone call.
No, there was more. After that we had food. With Kasai.
Yeah, but nothing happened there.
Yeah, but afterwards she ate. I remember that one detail specifically because I double checked the board before stream. I want to seem smart too, people. Let me have my moment. Yes,
I
the
would
extra
say
footsteps.
not really important for the recap, but sure.
For all we know, the amount of times Kasai brought her food that we know of somehow directly correlates with something, and that's gonna be one of the main like jigsaw puzzles of his whole. Why is this happening? What is happening? When is it happening?
So how often has he now?
I believe they had dinner together 3 times.
Oh, I was actually also gonna say true.
That we're privy to. First time he brought her food, second time she made some, third time she was depressed and he took food alone. I distinctively remember the third time because he brought croquettes. And when I said, Tifa, let's have croquettes. And we haven't had croquettes since. Tifa,
That's true.
Are you ready for Higurashi?
I'm ready.
Bam! I'm not, I didn't even load the thing yet. Chapter 6 of Chapter 5. You good?
No.
Cool. Also, I believe we had 2 tips, but No, there was only one we read by wrong. Okay. I remembered wrong. That was a previous chapter we did that. I think.
The day of the Watanagashi festival. June 20th, 1982, 1:40 p.m. What was I doing today?
Oh, mysterious music.
Nothing in particular. Nothing at all. I just wanted to play hooky. I woke up in the afternoon. I ate instant food for lunch while watching boring TV programs. I had a light headache, so I lay down on the sofa. I wouldn't wake up again if I went to sleep. Whatever. I decided to sleep. I'd already told Sis that Satoshi-kun had asked her to look after Satoko. I didn't have to do anything myself. I fell asleep, though my head was aching a little bit. That would be all I'd have to deal with.
Do they not make painkillers or headache pills in Japan in the 1980s?
She might not have any. June 20th, 1982, 5:02.
Why do you... 5:02. What's with that energy? Why are you mad at dates and times?
Well, her energy is also low, isn't it?
Yeah, but I feel like this is not... Is this still Shion?
This is still Shion.
Carry on.
As I don't think you have a say in how I main character.
Do you want to finish that sentence?
No, that was a dot at the end.
You don't... I don't think you have a say in how the main character...
How I main character.
Oh, you used main character as a verb.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, fair enough, yeah.
The aunt believed that all the villagers frowned upon her because her brother-in-law and his wife were pro-dam activists. She surely experienced some fallout during the time of the dispute. But people had stopped looking coldly upon her, even though she assumed otherwise. She was paranoid, believing that all the villagers hated her. And so, she decided to hate them back. That seems fair.
Beautiful.
Her attitude, of course, begot hatred from the villagers, and the situation became exactly the way she thought it was from the start.
Could it potentially be that the other villagers hated her because she's an abusive piece of shit?
What came first, their poor relationships with the neighbors? Or her husband's affair? She didn't know herself. Her husband claimed that he got a lover because he was fed up with her attitude. She in turn claimed that their relationships with the neighbors went sour because her husband had damaged their reputation. Only Satoshi was aware that both happened at almost the same time. Their quarrels had become a daily routine now. When the husband came home late, the wife would shout at him at the entrance. Satoshi wondered why they didn't get a divorce, their marriage being as rotten as it was. But he secretly knew the reason for that too. It was the fortune his parents had left. His aunt had hidden their bank book and stamp and never allowed her husband access to them. So her husband would search the house for them. She'd find out he stole some money from her purse. This would cause yet another fight. Satoshi had never been aware that his parents had that much money when they were alive. After their death, however, one of his relatives told him.
Could that be part of a motivation why they had to die? Money?
No, I don't think so. Because they had a claim to the money, not the Sonozakis.
Fair enough. Yeah.
He was informed that his parents had left a large sum of money in some bank account. Satoshi couldn't understand why they had that kind of money, because his family had been, as far as he knew, poor. It was because of the dam project. His parents probably got the money in return for their cooperation with the government. They had strived to get more villages on their side, provide information to them and whatnot. The money was probably compensation for their efforts. His aunt and uncle never had any intention to adopt them until they heard about the money. Oh, that makes sense. Kinda always wondered why they would even take them in. Like, you can refuse to take the kids in.
Can you?
Yeah.
Can you in Japan in the 80s in a small village?
I mean, it will probably look really bad on you. But like, from a legal perspective, you can always deny. I want to say that's everywhere.
Yeah, decline, not deny.
Decline.
I think decline is the right word. Fair enough. Yeah. But
then the kids just land in the system.
Fair, but also given how the aunt and Teppei act, I don't think they're the kind of people to make mature choices.
Well, no, but now there's money involved. After someone from some financial institution revealed its existence, they appeared to adopt Satoko and Satoshi. The couple would fight every day. Eventually, Satoshi's uncle started spending more time at his mistress's home. He realized that he had no reason to return to his own home, because he'd just end up in a fight with his wife if he did. When he stopped coming home, Satoshi felt relieved. Neither their uncle nor their aunt treated the two siblings very well.
But this way, at least there's only one of them around, right?
Satoshi's aunt wouldn't have to vent her frustration upon them. The reason the couple fought was their corrupted relationship, so if they separated, there wouldn't be any more fights. Satoshi had thought that at first. But even after they separated, his aunt still had a short temper.
A shit person doesn't stop being a shit person instantly in a moment like this, I would think. Especially when they...
Well, it's because you hope the reason is away. But now she can be mad because the reason is away.
Yes, plus she still has a ruined relationship with her neighbors. That was the other thing that drove her mad.
Another woman had stolen her husband. The villagers must have been talking behind her back. It was mortifyingly embarrassing. Since she lost an opponent to fight, Satoshi's aunt directed her hatred towards the siblings. Satoshi had been observing her. He learned when she would get upset and how to avoid her attention. He managed to get by without upsetting her by turning a keen eye to her behavior and avoiding conflicts. But Satoko couldn't do that. She hated her aunt and didn't even try to hide it. Satoshi told her to behave in their aunt's presence, but her eyes were always filled with hatred. Satoshi strived to reduce the conflict between them as much as possible. He stepped in, to mend their relationship. It was a heavy burden for him though, because he was still just a boy. He bore so much. He covered for his little sister by lying and maneuvering. He tried to maintain a tangible sense of peace. But he couldn't do that forever. The relationship between Satoko and her aunt had already spiraled out of control. Satoshi found something in the trash.
But bad.
It probably wasn't a legitimate place for trash disposal. If it was, sanitation workers would come and pick it up. He passed by the street all the time, so he noticed when there were new things dumped there. He'd found a plain-looking desk, of the kind likely to be seen in offices. Somebody must have dumped it within the past few days. His aunt liked to bring usable trash home.
Do you think the reason why Reina likes going trash dumpster junkyard diving is because of Satoshi?
Well, maybe Satoshi took... But he's not dumpster diving. He just sees the stuff while walking past.
Not dumpster diving, but it appears that he is also walking past the illegal dumping site.
Oh yeah, that yes.
That's what I mean.
Well, it could be that she came along once and liked it. I would. She'd had Satoshi help bring a chest home just a few days ago. If he'd told her about the desk she'd wanted. His aunt hated to find bugs and garbage in the drawers, so she'd always open them to check before carrying the thing home. Satoshi opened all the drawers, all of which were empty. After that, he turned around and walked for about 5 steps. He was standing in a knee-high bush. There he laid something he'd been carrying all the time until today.
He's setting up the ambush.
It'd be very hard to find unless you specifically knew it was there to begin with. Looking satisfied, Satoshi looked around for some landmark to remember the place by.
He's laying the ambush. When Satoko is out of the house, he'll be like, "Oh, hey aunt, I found this cool desk-looking thing by the dump. Do you want to go get it?" And then we'll go and then he takes her out.
Makes sense. Still June 20th, 1982, 5:51. Hey old pal, I see you showed up again this year. You better get ready for us.
You're as peppy as ever. Oh, is she a newcomer?
This is Reina Ryuku. Don't underestimate her, she's good. No, I'm not. Nice to meet you.
Yo, you too. I've won all kinds of prizes this year. That'll be a real battle to win. Try and take them all if you can.
I've never spoken to a chatty stall.
Neither have I.
Reina tends to dote on cute stuff. Yeah, that stuffed animal looks just like her type. What? Oh, so cute. I want to take it home with me.
Hey, the booth isn't open yet. Whoa!
Stop it, Reina. He says the booth isn't open yet. You can run him into the ground once he opens it up.
Just steal it now.
Oh, it's mine. I'm taking it home.
Theft by cute girl.
Reina lost her marbles over the stuffed animal and everybody left. Everybody except Satoko. She was standing by herself some distance from the crowd. Her eyes looked dull. Beep. What is it, Rika? Meep. Rika walked up to Satoko, smiling ear to ear in an effort to cheer her up. Forget your worries today. Let's just have fun. Satoko looked down. Even if she got to have fun today, her circumstances at home wouldn't change. Satoko, your evil aunt isn't around. I know that. So why don't you have fun? Nipa? Nipa?
Nipa intensifies.
I said Nipa!
Nippon, bitch.
No, sorry, but I don't feel like it. Could you please leave me alone?
The fuck you just... Skinner, the beautiful thing with a visual novel is you can see the text.
Nippon, motherfucker.
Exactly. Nippon. Also, meep.
Why aren't you smiling? Satoko sulkily glimpsed at Rika. She gave her a look, as though she wanted to say that Rika should know the reason. Wait till Benjima hears about this.
If that is what's gonna make him why can't I speak today? If that is what's gonna make him also stream all of Higurashi, so just so that he can get to these moments, I'm in for it.
Well, Nippa Benjima too.
Exactly. Watch me do it again.
Even if she could have fun today, nothing would change between her and her evil aunt. No matter how fun the festival was. Once she went home, her aunt would be there. The aunt would find something wrong with Satoko, get mad and shout at her so loudly that the neighbors would hear. How can she have fun, even just for today, while knowing all that? Satoko didn't say that out loud, but her eyes betrayed her emotions to Rika. So, Satoko, if your suffering ends today, will you smile?
That's
specific.
A very out of the blue kind of question.
Satoko gasped. She thought that Rika might do something to help.
Give us your best. I'll need a break in a short period of time to reset my brain. I've been speaking just fine all day before the stream with Tifa.
Can confirm.
It's the curse of oyashiro-sama. Give us your best Satoko gasp. It's not kind of cute actually. I'll take it.
But soon after, she realized that Rika was just trying to comfort her. Could her suffering end today? Because of Rika? How? Satoko knew that there really was nothing Rika could do. And so, after just one moment of freedom, Satoko fell into depression again. Rika, don't give me false hopes. Satoko. Rika's voice was clearer than Satoko had ever heard before. It's already been decided. Oh yeah, true. Rika knew about the deaths already.
Yeah. Which is still weird to me because doesn't that kind of mean she's been like living with these people, going like, you're gonna die in like 3.5 years. Feels like a weird thing to know ahead of time.
Yeah, but she seems to be fine with it.
What's happening? Hello Benjima. Happy Sunday. How are you doing? And Skinner is taking offense with some of the words a cute little girl character is saying in this game, such as meep and Nippa.
Call me a Nippa.
No, Nippa. I'm good, how are you? I'm good, but my speech isn't. So now that you're here, Benjima, I say we take a short break.
Short break it is. BRB.
BRB.
Nippa.
Nippa.
We're back. And yeah. Oh my god.
Thank you for the follow, much appreciated.
Thank you for the follow, appreciate it. Sorry for butchering your name.
Today is not a speaking, talking, communicating with our voices kind of day, which is horrible because we are playing a visual novel. Which reminds me.
Yeah.
Skill issue, yes.
It really is.
And I know who to blame because things are never my own fault when I make mistakes. You good, bro?
That's so cool.
Earlier today, I bullied, made Tifa go for a walk with me because we hadn't left the apartment all day. And
it was horrible.
Of course it was. We were outside. And on our walk, we came past 2 teenage boys. We were just walking down the street and cross us. And they were like pointing at something off in the distance behind us. We didn't check what it was. But both of them, they looked like 12, 13, I want to say.
Something like that.
They communicated with each other, seemingly, but they didn't use words. They did the cliche man thing and they just grunted at each other in different tones. And they understood each other perfectly, it seemed, because it seemed like they're having a conversation. And then I was like, maybe we should do the same. Just So the rest of today's stream will be brought to you in Grunto vision. Tifa?
Those aren't proper grunts.
Yeah, but see, I can't even grunt properly. It's not my day. What can I say? I don't know why I'm trying.
So why do they put the wah-wah sounds from the Koopas in Mario there?
I do not know, but I can tell you that this music playing in the background, I love it. And I also hate it. Because I hate how it makes me feel, but I love it because I kind of like the sound of it. Like I enjoy listening to it. And I think it really fits the energy of the scene. If I'm not telling you about 12-year-olds grunting down the street, you know?
That it does. Like, I wouldn't listen to it like on a playlist, but in the moments it feels like it fits.
I would actually put this on as white noise in the background on a loop.
I mean,
and just when I say it, the sound ends and fades into nothing. Beautiful. Well, not that part.
Well, it's still June 20th, 1982, 11 past 8.
Why can't you say June 20th, 1982, 8:11 p.m.?
Why do I have to say that?
Because...
I'm saying the same thing.
I'm trying to, like, invoke certain standards here, people, but... What can you do with a talent you're given?
Satoshi snuck out the window after supper. He heard the distant ruckus of the festival. The festival would end at 9 p.m. After the Watanagashi ceremony, there was going to be a raffle drawing. So there were 2 types of people in Hinamizawa.
Quick question. Why would they draw a raffle? That's a lot of work.
Wasn't sure if you're serious or not. But a raffle can be very easily drawn.
The bar was low and I managed to still stump my toe on it.
So there were 2 types of people in Hinamizawa. The people who would go home for dinner and the ones who would stay until the raffle was over. Wouldn't you eat at the festival in this case?
Do you know how much that costs?
I would assume it's not that bad yet here.
I'm sorry, are you saying we have festival food money?
In the 70s, yeah.
Fair. Yeah, true. I remember getting food...
Or 80s, sorry.
I remember getting food even in the late 90s at those kind of festivals here in Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like $1 got you a long way.
Yeah, it that sounded so old.
No, but I could get like a snack for like €1.
Yeah,
a cent.
You could get like a fried sausage in a bread roll for like $1.
We didn't have the euro back then, but you know what I mean. But yeah. Exactly. Like
It was
now,
relatively
that's
cheap.
like $10.
I think it's not that bad, but I want to say at least 5, depending on where you go. At 5 at the cheapest end.
For what again?
For a sausage in a bread roll.
Yeah, depending on the sausage, 5 is the cheapest price you'll find right now. If I'm thinking of like German Christmas markets.
No, not Christmas market. Think like carnival kind of thing.
Yeah, but it will be the same sort of thing. But
Yeah.
Christmas market is the last thing I have in mind where they sell the stuff.
Fair enough.
But you're gonna hit home closer with like $7.
Yeah. Or like 12 if you go to really expensive areas, which is disgusting. But hey.
Don't think I've seen 12 yet, but it's not too shocking.
Didn't I show you a picture of like a Christmas market down in Munich at the end of last year where they did like a glass or mug of mulled wine for like $8.
But that's the normal price right now.
This is a big mug. I don't know if you can tell, like, their size comparison to my enormous head. This is a big mug. Like, this is venti in Starbucks talk.
It's like half of that.
Less than half. $8. Like, the bottle, the liter of mulled wine that you just buy in the store that tastes exactly like the one that you can get at the stall at a Christmas market is like $2.99 on sale. It's like, you make your money.
Oh.
It doesn't work if we both drink because one of you has to read the line.
Either relaxing at home or still at the festival. There were only those two patterns. On top of that, there weren't many neighbors in the vicinity of Satoshi's house. That's not a Pokemon. As a result, he found nobody on the streets. On that night, the small village seemed especially desolate. Satoshi knew it was going to be like this, but he would keep worrying until he saw it for himself. He was barefooted, but started running without hesitation.
Oh, fair enough, it's summer. Like, I don't know, but going outside barefoot seems like a very cold ordeal to me. But again, I'm a city kid. Like, I wouldn't want to walk around barefoot anyway.
I am not a city kid, but I want to say, like, running barefoot through the woods, like, oh, bad.
Oh, hell no. Oh, the other day I saw a video like things Australians do, and then it was just a montage of people apparently in Australia walking around barefoot outside. And, you know, whatever, like, just because I don't want to do it doesn't mean other people can't. But I'm the kind of person, if I walk around barefoot outside, I step on a super tiny rock, like a pebble, and it's gonna be like going straight into my nerve system, you know, like it's gonna be like stepping on a pile of Legos. It's like, ah.
I want to say walking barefoot everywhere is more common than you think. I also have a lot of colleagues who have the no shoes policy. Like, don't walk around on socks, but like only bare feet everywhere.
I mean, people do it every day, and humanity has done it for thousands of years before we invented shoes, but still.
Yeah, but even when it's this cold or it's snowing. Like, my colleague has like this sort of little, I'm gonna call it a sticker, that he then puts at the bottom of his feet to protect it against the cold. Okay. But he still goes bare feet.
Alright, that's pretty hardcore actually.
Yeah. Anyway, that's not the point. He felt as though he'd become a wild animal running on his bare feet. He got the impression that he could run faster than usual.
It's called adrenaline.
Not only his running ability, his vision, his hearing, and his sense of smell. All his senses were keener, including his sixth sense. Maybe he's a werewolf.
He was accessing 360-degree vision data.
At Warshi?
What?
Maybe he's at Warshi.
Jacob Sheaf. Satoshi's werewolf confirmed.
Tifa's stealing my brain cell now too. I'll give it back.
I'm the antenna for the brain cell, but sometimes she has access to.
He could almost sense the presence of people in the distance, if only when crouching like an animal. It felt strange, as though he had stepped into another world. He'd been feeling tense and anxious until today, battling with his own fear. But now he felt as though he had metamorphosed into a different person. At Warshi.
Satob.
8:37 p.m. Still the same day.
Can you say that with respect?
We still haven't moved past the day.
Do it for Charlie.
June 20th, 1982, 8:37 p.m.
Thank you. Alright everyone, I'm going to explain how the raffle works. Please gather around at the altar.
What a nice stall. The festival had reached its climax. The raffle was going to start. Both the women who were dancing and those who were waiting for the raffle gathered around the altar.
Oh yeah.
The ceremony.
Yeah, I was like, both the women who were dancing and... Oh, and those who were waiting.
This was the first time they'd held a raffle. The planning committee decided to hold one from this year onward to attract more people to the festival.
Smart.
At first, the prizes were things the committee members had donated, but Oreo, not appreciating how pathetic they looked, had them thrown away. I donate this spoon.
Fuck your gifts. That was one of those little cloth thingies they give you when you buy a pair of glasses. I wanted to clean the screens with it, but now I need to clean the cloth towel first.
Which just was washed.
Yeah, well.
Oreo took the initiative and bought a brand new TV, a washing machine, a cooling fan, and other such things for the raffle. The committee wanted to keep it small initially, but it turned out big thanks to her. Oreo was upset because the committee members weren't enthusiastic enough in her opinion. Some of the members thought it would be very difficult to prepare prizes of equal value the following year, so this might be the very first and last raffle. I mean, that's a good point. You'll have to keep up some sort of standard.
You have to increase it every year a little bit.
Or that. Because
people will expect more every single time. That's like you introducing power creep to the greed, to the festival now. Instead of just, hey, let's all come together, like we have these nice stalls, we play some traditional games, we have fun, we have food, and then we do the ritualistic part, because, you know, traditions, religion, all of this. Suddenly it's also money!
They should actually change the raffle around to have it at the start of the festival, and then you can win like coupons for the stalls.
That would not be a bad price.
Like food or like some game stalls.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah.
Thanks to you, we have such wonderful prizes with you, Oreo-san. They must have cost a lot, didn't they? We can reimburse you from our budget.
Buffoon! No point in reimbursing that. It was never about the money. Idiots.
No, don't say that. This raffle's all thanks to you, Oreo-san.
It's not like I'm doing this all by myself. Don't be ridiculous. The mayor, Kimiyoshi, was having a tough time pacifying Oreo.
Has he tried dipping her in some milk?
All of a sudden, one of the committee members burst into the tent in a rush.
Which tent?
There is one somewhere. He looked upset, so Kimiyoshi assumed that someone probably got hurt in an accident.
What's going on, Makino-san? I hope you're not having a heart attack.
Kimiyoshi made a joke to calm him down.
Makino-san was having a heart attack.
Makino, however, still looked tense. He whispered something to Kimiyoshi. Even without hearing the exchange between Makino and Kimiyoshi, it was plain as day that was bad news.
Oreo-san, I have unpleasant news if you don't mind.
Kimiyoshi, accompanied by Makino, moved to Oreo's side and spoke in a very serious tone. Kimiyoshi whispered to her the exact same words Makino told him.
No, dear. This is bad.
Ain't unexpected. What happens twice will happen a fourth time. They found a body, I would assume.
That's not funny, Oreo-san.
You're right, it isn't. It's just another hassle.
The police are trying to identify the body. I heard the face was completely destroyed, so it'll be difficult.
It's quite clear who it is, though.
Eh? Do you know who it might be?
Oreo glared at Kimiyoshi and then started chuckling. Idiot. It must be some impudent lad who didn't come to the Watanagashi festival. People who respect Oyashiro-sama wouldn't get involved in something like that. Oreo kept laughing. Kimiyoshi and Makino didn't know how to react to that. June 20th, 1982. 9:04 p.m.
9:04.
I was gonna say 9 again.
Oh, that's how Kumagai looks like. I think that's the first time we get to see him.
That is his first time, yeah.
Wow. Only in the... console version did he actually get out? You're a Kuma guy.
Oh.
Always happen.
This is merciless.
Kuma-chan. Every death is merciless unless the dead wished for it. I have my condolences. How's it going over there? Did you find something that could identify the body?
The forensic investigators shook their heads. The victim's wearing sandals and casual clothes. They must be from this neighborhood. We should be able to identify the corpse by asking around.
That's the way to do it. That's why we do it. The section manager says this case might become classified. So be careful with that.
Gotcha. Kumagai gathered some officers and gave them directions. Dr. Irie has arrived. Doctor, it's over here. The young doctor got out of his car and headed in the victim's direction.
Hello? I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. I had to help with a raffle. Isn't it a bit suspect that Irie, who is out here at night, has his sunglasses in his pocket?
I wear
my sunglasses at night so I can doctor everything.
Exactly.
You must have drunk a lot at the festival, Doctor. Are you sure you're sober? Maybe I should run a breathalyzer test on you just to be safe. I'm fine. My assistant is driving. Clever of you. I let the doctor pass.
There was an area cordoned off with blue plastic sheets. An officer rolled up the sheet and let Oishi and Irie pass.
But he's not wearing them right now, is he? Well...
The sunglasses in his pocket are just a suggestion. He is actually wearing them.
He's wearing contacts.
Sunglasses contacts?
No, they don't... Yeah, no, that doesn't make sense. Forget I said that. I was trying to sound smart. No, he probably has been out all day. It is summer, and then the sun is shining, and yeah, it makes sense.
The forensic people were taking photos from many different angles. The blood splatters and the bloody sandals were left untouched, marked with chalk and indicated with small alphabetized plates.
I'm not used to seeing things like this.
Irie took out a handkerchief and covered his nose.
You should breathe through your mouth. Well, you might sense the smell visually, though.
The body appeared to be that of a middle-aged woman. It was soaked in blood. It looked like a middle-aged woman because of the hair and what she was wearing. The reason why no one could be certain it was a middle-aged woman was because its face was completely pulverized.
This is brutal. I'm sure it was done out of malice. The victim must have been murdered right here, judging from the pattern of the blood splatters and the soles of the sandals. And even though not many people take this road, the body is right in the middle of it. It's very unusual to see a culprit who would bludgeon their victims until their face was completely destroyed. Also, can you look at her arms?
Oishi put on latex gloves and lifted the corpse's arm.
See? Spotless, aren't they? Are you saying that the victim didn't try to protect her head? That there's no signs of struggle? Right you are. I think the victim lost consciousness with her first blow. And then the culprit kept beating to complete the murder. The victim was probably lying face down at that time, judging from the stains of her clothes. The body is face up now. The culprit seems to have flipped the victim over in order to smash her face, even though by that point her death was certain.
Irie looked like he was going to throw up, both because of the putrid smell and Oishi's reasoning.
Yeah, that clearly wasn't just because, oh, wrong place, wrong time. If somebody knocks you out, and then when you're knocked out, makes sure to completely pulverize your face, it's personal. Oh, it was personal.
Well, you could make it worse, I guess.
Do I want to know what you're thinking?
If you get like a rock and you put their teeth on it, That is painful as fuck.
What?
Open their mouth on a rock and then smash it in? No? I don't know. Seen too many horror movies lately.
No, I think I know what Tifa is talking about. She's talking about like a reverse curb stomp. If you've seen, for example, what's it called? American History X, the opening scene. That. Curb stomping, yes, exactly. It's fucked up.
That even has a name.
Yes, because...
That's messed up.
Yes. It is, because it is. Yeah.
I think I saw it in a horror movie last week. Why does it look like Grayston is judging me from up there?
I hung one of her bats up there, so... Grayson is judging you because you deserve to be judged. If you look over there, Bruce even turned away.
That is very true. But I saw it in a horror movie and my jaw hurt from watching it.
Yeah. First they call me a Neeper, and now that nobody called you anything. Ah, Skinner. Now we talk about American History X. Yes, because it is a movie that leaves an impact, I want to say.
I don't think I've seen it.
You have not seen American History X?
Doesn't ring a bell, at least.
It's probably one of Edward Norton's standout roles. He is so disgusting in it. Like, you know the shot. If I do this, Tifa. Oh my god, she has not seen it.
Who's Edward Norton? I'm googling.
How did I end up in this relationship?
Googling.
Google American History X. And do it faster, we have stuff to do tonight, Tifa.
I'm trying. Stress.
Fair, I didn't see it too. Fair enough.
American.
If you feel like getting gut punched really hard by a movie, I suggest watching American History X. The movie is fucked up because of... Well, I'm not going to tell you anything about it. Look it up. It's a good movie, but yeah, it's not the kind of thing where you go, oh yeah, no, I feel like my life is better afterwards. It's like, that's disgusting, and I understand that this shit happens in real life.
Okay, I'm gonna leave this open so that I remember. Seems like something to watch.
Yeah, but not when you have a good day.
That's okay, I don't have any good days.
Thank you for making me feel absolutely worthless. I know that is mean, you know, when someone's telling you they're not having a great time to then take that all on you, but still.
Me? Yeah, adorable.
Did that help a little bit?
So much.
Did that help a little bit?
Yes.
Seemed fake, but I'll take it. He's the second Bruce Banner, he's the first one. He's switched to a Glass Onion, yes, he was also in that. Edward Norton's been in a ton of things. I really like him as an actor.
Weren't all of them rich in Glass Onion?
I don't recall.
Oh no, wait, wasn't the rich guy the James Bond dude? What's his name again?
Something Craig.
Yeah, well, I say yeah, but sure. Sounds familiar.
I can't think of his first name for some reason. Jonathan? No.
Well, I have seen Glass Onion and the, I think, second movie? Or was Glass Onion the second one?
Daniel Craig, thank you.
Oh, that was it, yeah.
I was thinking Jonathan.
I wasn't a big fan of the movies.
Which ones? The Glass Onion ones?
The Glass Onion and the second one. That was alright. But not like, oh, I'll watch it again.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Oh, Knives Out.
Yes.
Knives Out was the first one, yeah.
Can also recommend these, but if you haven't seen American History X, I think you should watch that one first.
That I will watch. I will watch it.
Meanwhile, talking about horribly fucked up things, smashing the victim's face is clearly a sign of a grudge in my experience. That's a very profound grudge too. That means the culprit must be someone very close to a victim. I understand you didn't call me to resuscitate her. Doctor, do you know who the victim is? If you do, I don't have to waste time questioning the neighbors.
Irie looked at the body once again. He looked away quickly and thought. Then, after a while, Irie left the investigation area without saying anything.
He hit Alt F4 IRL.
Well, he probably realized here who it was and who done it.
I'm sorry. I don't know. Nah. Are you sure?
She smirked and looked into Irie's eyes.
Are you sure?
As though Irie was hiding something.
Ooishi is good. I'm not hiding anything. I guess you're still under the influence, Doctor. Maybe you'll remember when you're sober. Let me know if you do.
Yeah, take this picture along to look at it later.
Yeah, oh God. Here's a Polaroid of a horribly gruesome victim of a brutal attack that took their lives.
She tapped Irie on the back. The doctor, saying he wanted some fresh air, left the scene. And Kumagai returned. Ooishi-san, the section manager, is on the radio. The one in the first car.
Irie lied.
Huh?
Nothing. Hurry up and question the neighbors. The victim must be from this area.
June 20th, 1982, 9:39 p.m. Ooishi-san, here he is.
Thank you for coming here this late at night. I know you have school tomorrow. I'm really sorry to bother you. No problem. Where's your father? My stepfather doesn't come home much. Uh-huh. Since when? When did he come home last? I don't know. I heard he's living with a woman who works at a club in Okinomiya or something. I don't remember exactly when, but I guess I saw him a few weeks ago. Uh-huh. Do you have your father's address? No. He's living with a woman who works at a club. Do you know the name of a place? No. I know it's in Okinomiya and that's all. What's your father's name? Teppei Hojo.
Ooishi signaled Kumagai with his chin, who nodded while taking notes.
That's how I would do it. Completely not visible to anybody, not weird, suspicious at all.
I think it's just a...
Yeah.
Gee. Oh no, that one.
From the side it looked like... not nearly as elaborate, but kind of like Jim Carrey doing the Grinch face. Have you ever seen a video of him morphing his face into the Grinch? I can't do it. I don't have half the facial muscles or the control of them, but it looked a bit like this. Can you do it again? No, it was different. It seemed even weirder, but more natural at the same time.
I always thought it was slightly CGI.
No, it actually
That
wasn't.
was just his face.
Yeah, it's crazy. Were your mother and father getting along well? I don't know much about that, but I don't think so. I see. I want you to tell me honestly, do you know anyone who might have been holding a grudge against your stepmother?
Everyone.
I don't. Alright. Please let me know if you remember something. Here's my card. My number is on it. Okay. I might ask to see you again for further inquiries. And if you see your stepfather, please let him know that we want to contact him. Kuma-chan, drive him home, will you? Oh, no. I can go home by myself. Please, let us drive you home. There's a possibility that the culprit who murdered your aunt is roaming around the neighborhood. You might get hurt too. Thank you for your consideration, but really, I'm fine.
Satoshi tried to reject the offer, but Ooishi and Kumagai insisted.
Kumajai.
Kumajai.
It's his evil twin brother.
In the end, Satoshi was forced to accept.
That was sus. If you just realized your stepmother has been murdered horribly and you have absolutely no idea who did it or why, wouldn't you be freaked out? At the very least, because a murder happened?
Or you should have been honest, I guess, and went like...
Everybody hated that bitch.
Basically.
Yeah. If you're looking for potential culprits, yeah, the village of Hinamizawa. Everybody hated her.
He turned around to leave. When Ooishi spoke to him as if he remembered something he'd forgotten to say.
The Columbo. Oh, one more thing. Hojo-san. Yes? Don't worry. It's no problem. We'll catch the culprit soon. Do you have any leads? Yes, we do. Like what? That's confidential.
Ordinary people might think that Ooishi was trying to cheer the poor kid up with a joke.
Well, usually people get pretty worked up when they commit murder. Though, of course, there are some exceptions. What kind of evidence do you find when the culprit's worked up? When somebody's in a very excited condition, their body shows many symptoms, like sweat, loss of hair. We often find the culprit's hair at crime scenes. Well, this is outside, so it's a bit different, but still. Did you find their hair? I don't know yet. The forensic guys are searching the scene right now. I'm anxious to see what they'll bring me. Excuse me, I have to go now. Please, Kuma-chan, would you?
Sure.
Hojo-san, see you again soon. I'll let you know if there's any progress in the investigation. Let me know when you remember something. Let's cooperate to catch the murderer of your stepmother. I hated that entire conversation.
I mean, Ooishi is pretty good at his job.
Yeah, but I also want to say Satoshi's making it easy. Also, I want to say there is something very important to notice.
Where?
In that scene we just read since the beginning of the stream. What happened at the beginning?
As in the setting up the trap and stuff? Or what?
No.
Felt like setting up a trap?
At the very beginning, when we started playing today, when we started chapter 6 of chapter 5, what happened?
That was the thing that happened.
No.
Well, then just say it.
I was trying to give you a chance. It was Shion going. It's noon. I woke up. I had a headache. I ate junk food, watched TV. And I didn't go to sleep because if I did, I wouldn't wake up again. And after that, whenever there's a new scene, you hear the clickety-clacks of a typewriter. And the narration swaps from what is clearly Shion to a third person who just narrates what is happening without any of her color commentary. We don't know where Shion went or what Shion did the rest of the day.
No. You think she's spying on Satoshi?
I don't know.
I mean, it would make sense, especially knowing that Satoshi needs someone to take care of Satoko.
But
Just do some stalking.
Shion could have killed the aunt. Assuming she went into town, fake pretending to be Mion if necessary.
It's possible.
The question is, who narrated, or from what perspective was the narration of what happened during Watanagashi? Who wrote the report or whatever it was ultimately of what we just went through?
Well, that we don't know. It is in a different style in that regard from Shion's diary and stuff.
I think Shion might have done it.
But I think that's also on purpose, because this bit should be a bit more neutral, otherwise you immediately know who it would be. Sis called the morning after the Watanagashi festival to tell me that the curse had struck again for the 4th time. The victim was the evil aunt who was harassing Satoshi-kun and Satoko. Satoshi-kun's suffering should be over now, since the problem was with Satoko and the aunt's relationship to begin with. Maybe I should have celebrated, but I wasn't in the mood for some reason. Do the police have a lead on the suspect? Sis went quiet when I asked that. I don't know. Ooishi seems to be questioning people in the neighborhood. He thinks the culprit is somebody close to the victim. Being identical twins, Sis and I think very much alike.
Except when they don't.
If I suspected Satoshi-kun of being the murderer, so would she. Because of this, I didn't have to mention the obvious. Does Satoshi-kun have an alibi for that day? I don't know. I heaved a huge sigh. Are you stupid? He was at the festival. Didn't you see him there? Yeah, right. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. She's giving him an alibi. If that's what you're confused about.
That happened instantly. Also with distorted... Like that just turned on like that.
Because now she's trying to cover for him. Or trying to make Mion cover for him.
Yes, but also I'm helping you back.
Oh.
I guess I'm not helping her back. That's what she gets. That's what you get. Now sit like a human, please.
Another sign.
Let's not talk over each other. Thank you, Psycho.
Like a human.
Thank you.
No, this stays here.
And then in 15 minutes you go, my neck. I don't know why it hurts. Because you sit like this, Tifa.
No, my shoulder was actually starting to hurt, so now I'm pushing it back by sitting like this.
I don't think that's how the body works.
Well, it is now. Sitting absolutely straight. Thank you. I heaved another sigh. Sis was stupid enough to forget to make an alibi for him, even though the murder of his aunt alone would raise enough suspicion. So that means he did do it? That's not important now. The problem is whether he has an alibi or not. Well, the police are going to come here later. I'll tell them I was with him at the festival.
Also, it took me a moment to fully process that, but that was the most cut off I've ever heard.
Yeah, because you didn't press enter last enough. Like after a pause, you can't just go.
You just did it.
Yeah, but it's cut off then, isn't it? You can't make it flow in a line. Yeah. What's wrong with that?
There, after a pause.
Yeah, and it doesn't flow, does it? Sis, lying out of the blue like that won't work. If you haven't done anything to ensure his alibi, it's too late now. Please just be honest with them. I can't trust your acting skills. You might raise more suspicion if you make something up on the spot. Yeah, sorry. She sounded depressed. I was the one who should have been depressed. Mion usually handles things well, but she's not too good with emergencies. I was left worried for the future of the Sonozaki family. Mion must have been embarrassed. She soon changed the subject.
About that weather, huh?
I guess you haven't been able to work lately, have you? Yeah, you're right, I haven't. Thanks to you. Sorry about that. I'll hide somewhere until tonight, so maybe you can work today? Sis has been appearing in public places during festival preparations and whatnot. As a result, I hadn't been able to pretend to be her. I hadn't been able to work. As someone who had to support myself, it was a bit of a pain. To be honest, I didn't feel like working. Story of everyone's life. But I couldn't afford to be sitting around either. Still the story of everyone's life. When I locked my apartment door before leaving, the door of the next apartment over opened and Kasai appeared.
Shion-san, are you heading out?
Yeah. I'm going to work since Sis gave me time until tonight. Can you give me a ride?
Shion-san, wouldn't it be safer for you to take a few days off? The police seems to be staking out the main house. I don't think it's a good idea to leave.
I appreciate your concern, but I have to make money to survive. Kasai might suggest he donate money to my cause. However, I had sworn to myself when I started living here that I wouldn't depend on Kasai. While I don't obey anyone else's rules, I stick to my own. Kasai could tell that I was adamant in my decision. So after repeating himself a couple of times as a formal procedure, he decided to give me a ride after all. Every time we went to my uncle's store by car, we stopped at this traffic light. I knew it was going to happen again, but it still irritated me. Pedestrians passed by in front of the car. I was startled to see that one of them looked like Satoshi-kun. It was him. Though I'd spoken with him on the phone just a couple of days before, it'd been a while since I saw him last. Kasai? Sorry, but could you tell my uncle that I can't come today? I'm getting off here.
What? Shion-san.
Kasai looked taken aback, but I got out of the car regardless. The light turned green. Heart attack. The car behind him honked while Kasai was shouting at me, so he had to start moving. Satoshi-kun was on his bike, but he was going really slowly. I caught up with him in a flash and tapped him on the back.
Cycling super slowly through the city doesn't seem like the kind of thing you do when you're trying to run away after a murder. You would cycle at least average speed, I would think.
Well, it depends on where he's going. If he's not trying to escape right now, then it doesn't matter. Hello. I'm surprised to see you in Okonomiya, Satoshi-kun. If I talk to him with a smile, he might smile back. So I smiled as brightly as I could.
Nipa. Mion.
He looked tired as always. But as I could tell, he was trying to smile back.
Best I could do.
My worries suddenly disappeared. I was certain I looked happy. I was aware of that myself, so it must have been obvious to Satoshi-kun.
I don't know the circumstances, but you look happy.
Yeah, I am happy. I'm happy because you look happy. When I teased him, he looked a bit embarrassed. It was like we were back in the good old days.
The good old days, which lasted for exactly, what, 35 minutes?
No, that's been like 2 or 3 days.
I'm sorry, the first time they spoke was in the alley, in the dark alleyway, when he got beat up for her. Then they talked in the park after he messed up baseball. Then they talked once at baseball practice.
No, we also had a date in the supermarket.
After that, they went to the...
That was after the talk in the park.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter. We had like a 2-3 days.
Talk in the alleyway, talk at baseball practice and the supermarket. Talk at baseball practice, the park. 3
More
times.
Than 35 minutes.
Let me finish. Stop interrupting me, woman. I'm trying to have a train of thought. And then when the fight at school happened and then the phone call. We've talked to this boy 5 times. I understand that's enough to have like a super major crush. But 5 times. They've spoke. This is the 6th time they speak that
That's
we know.
Plenty. Some people get married after 2 times.
Yeah, and I find that weird too.
I felt even happier than before. What's going on, Satoshi-kun? Did something good happen?
Not really. My aunt died and I have to deal with the police and the neighbors.
Might have asked something dumb. He seemed to be okay with it though. He'd frowned a bit at first, but Satoshi-kun continued smiling gently. He looked worn out, but satisfied, like he had accomplished something great. That was the mood I sensed from him. So I was convinced. The one who killed that wicked aunt who tormented Satoko was him. I had absolutely no proof, but I knew it intuitively.
Yeah, no.
Intuitively. Oh, my leg's itchy.
Intuitively.
And that's what I said.
No, you didn't, Will.
I had absolutely no proof, but I knew it intuitively.
You see, the drawback of the Hinamizawa school system is that when you learn new words...
It's not even a new word, I know the word.
When you learn new words, everybody starts pronouncing it the way they first heard it. So, unfortunately, because Chie has a dark side to herself, whenever they do stuff that expands the kid's vocabulary, she makes Satoko read the word first. And she's not good with many syllables. And it's intuitively.
So I omitted all those questions. I knew Satoshi-kun's motive for killing his aunt and how badly he was driven into a corner. I knew the environment and the situation he was in. And I knew Satoshi-kun's feelings. I knew all of that. So I omitted all those questions. I wanted to celebrate his release from that curse, so I smiled like nothing was different as I asked. Where are you going, Satoshi-kun? To work?
That's right. I have to make a stop before that, though.
A stop?
I have to make sure it's still there, otherwise I'll continue feeling really anxious.
That conversation reminded me. The reason he started his part-time job was to buy Satoko a huge teddy bear. It was being sold at the toy store just down the street. I recalled that the teddy bear was very expensive. Satoko's birthday was right after the festival. I wasn't sure what day though. Wait, didn't he say he quit his job? Maybe he was going to greet his ex-co-workers and clean out his locker or something? Either way, he'd be completely free very soon. Maybe he hadn't been paid yet. That's why he wanted to check if they still had the teddy bear. Maybe he was only getting paid on Satoko's birthday. When we got near the toy store, he rushed to the display window. He looked relieved that it hadn't been sold yet.
Good. Alright, it's still there.
You've earned enough money already, haven't you? Why don't you reserve it? He probably hadn't thought of that. He really did need someone to look after him. I looked into the display window over his shoulder. The teddy bear wasn't that cute in my opinion. It looked huge and cramped in the middle of the store showcase. Really, it looked more like a display model than an item for sale. I don't see a price tag. Is that really for sale? How much is it?
Yeah. I'm sure they sell it.
What about the price? Does it fit your budget?
It's alright, I already checked.
Satoshi-kun thought I was teasing him again. He pouted and looked a little sulky. There's no problem then. Why don't you go reserve it now? Then you won't have to feel anxious anymore. We entered the store and looked for a clerk.
Is anybody here?
Nice. Maybe you can get it without paying.
Classic Tifa move. No, Mion. Stealing is bad.
Classic Jack move. I'm just kidding. Trying to make you laugh. Do you think I'd really do that?
No, sorry.
Satoshi-kun smiled apologetically. I puffed up my cheeks to tease him. I'm drawing the line at theft. The rest is all fine.
Nah, not sure about that, but...
It had really been a while since the last time we did this. In between those times, many undesirable things happened that I wanted to forget. But now I felt as though all those things simply vanished into the air around us. I found an old person napping in the back. He must be the clerk, I thought. He looked to be fast asleep. I doubt he has that much to do. Excuse me, you work here, right? I poked his shoulder, but he didn't look like he was going to wake up. When I did that, a middle-aged woman wearing an apron came in. Grandpa, you fell asleep again! We have customers! I'm really sorry, you two. He's been very flaky, you know. The middle-aged woman shook the old man awake and told him to go back to the living room. She went to the cash register after that. That was so embarrassing. So, how can we help you?
I'd like to reserve something. That big teddy bear in the display window.
Oh, that one? Are you sure? That one is really expensive. You know that, right?
Can I have a discount? I'm a cute little boy. Yes. I think I have enough.
He'll get paid really soon, so he'd like to reserve it. The woman looked a bit hesitant at first, but she eventually wrote down Satoshi-kun's name and accepted the reservation. Satoshi-kun received a slip of paper. See? You don't have to worry about the teddy bear anymore.
Yeah. I'll get paid soon too. I feel relieved now.
He would have kept coming to check every day if he hadn't done this now. He would have spent his time needlessly worrying. Satoshi-kun looked very relieved indeed.
I should have done it sooner.
Usually people do that right away when they want something. It's very rare for somebody not to think of that. It's so very fun to tease him. Those painful days seem unbelievable now. Satoshi-kun looked like he'd forgotten everything that happened up until yesterday.
Anyway, thanks.
Satoshi-kun held out his hand to touch my head. Was he going to stroke it? I felt my face reddening already.
Was sich liebt, das neckt sich. That's why you know Tifa loves me so much.
What?
You do egg me on quite a bit.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
That is very true.
Also, I'm Satoshi. I should be petting your head.
Even before he touched my head. I felt tingly remembering the last time. I didn't care about the murder or whatever else happened. As long as Satoshi-kun had his freedom, everything would be alright. I'd be content as long as we could live happily from today onward. But Satoshi-kun's hand never reached my head. I slowly opened my eyes, only to realize that the situation had drastically changed.
What?
Is he gone? Oh. There were 4 men in suits blocking our way. It looked as though they'd been waiting for us to exit the toy store. Uh-oh.
This doesn't make any sense with what we learned in chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yet.
No, not at all.
Why?
Why?
We don't know if Satoshi left, got arrested.
Didn't they say that after the murder of your aunt, he just disappeared?
Yeah, but maybe not immediately. I think it was like, they thought they would be onto him and he left. Could have been 2-3 days after.
Can't be 2-3 days after because of being demoned away. That usually happens the same night or the day after.
No, it could be days after.
I don't like it. Hello.
The oldest of the 4 men stepped forward while smirking. I'd never met this man, but it looked like he knew both Neon and Satoshi-kun. He was probably a cop. I ran a search for information in my head, and found some right away.
Good to see both of you, Hojo-san and Sonozaki-san. I'm sorry to bother you at a time like this.
This must be Kuroda Oishi, the cop who's investigating the series of mysterious deaths. He thinks that the Sonozaki family is behind all of the cases. In other words, he's an enemy of the Sonozaki family. He has deep connections with other investigation divisions in the police force and likes to nose around the business in this area. He annoys the Sonozaki family enough as it is by interfering with its Yakuza business, let alone his suspicion on the series of mysterious deaths. Naturally, as the family's successor, he's not a welcome figure to me on Sonozaki.
Imagine being mad that the police is looking a bit closer at the mafia. Like,
yeah. If you are the mafia, yeah. I try to imagine how Sis would react.
Spit in his face. Scratch his eyes out. What? You actually said the sound.
Yeah, it's the fancy spitting.
Patooey.
Patooey. Oh, ooishi-san. Thank you for working hard for our safety. Oh, the four of you want something from this toy store? A doll, maybe? I know what they want. And it's not a toy. It's probably not me either. They want Satoshi-kun. I took a look at Satoshi-kun. He seemed a bit uncomfortable.
Who wouldn't be if suddenly 4 police people show up right in front of you, looking at you like they want something from you?
The other 3 cops loosely surrounded us to prevent our escape.
Hold your son. I'd like to talk to you about something.
What for? Are you taking him to the station? You don't have to go with them, Satoshi-kun. Let's get out of here. I pushed on his shoulder, but he just stood there looking pale and bewildered. Bewildered? No, he actually looked resigned. Then I recalled Sis's mistake. It's obvious that he killed his aunt from the circumstances. You don't even have to look at the crime scene. How could Mion have failed to create an alibi? That stupid Mion must have spoken to the police without making anything up at all. She must have not told them that she knew where Satoshi-kun was. If she hadn't done anything, the villagers wouldn't work to help her. It was just a matter of time until the police uncovered Satoshi-kun's complete lack of an alibi. The police were trying to corner him and lead him to confess. Also, even if they would find his hair, you can explain that away, like we live together, we use the same hairbrush, like it's kind of natural.
I would assume finding the hair of your children on your dead body is not immediate. Like, yeah, the kids did it.
Like, I have your hair on my shirt.
Yeah.
Your hair is everywhere. Like, it's not unnatural to find it.
That's just what happens.
I looked at Satoshi-kun's face once again. He looked like a dead man. He probably didn't know he could refuse to be interrogated. If he was taken to the station and grilled by Ooishi, he'd confess in a minute. Somebody had to protect him. Nobody had ever been there for him. I had to step up now. But how? Would it be possible to alter what Mian had already told them, saying it was a mistake? That wasn't going to work. If I had more time, I'd come up with an excellent idea. But I didn't have that much time at all. To pressure him, the cops were drawing nearer. Satoshi-kun must have felt intimidated. He might end up turning himself in due to the pressure while I'm stuck trying to come up with something. I have to do something now.
Fart. Fart really loudly. That's gonna disrupt the situation so hard.
I have to say something. It probably would, yeah.
Yeah. How would you react if you're in the middle of it and suddenly...
I just ignored.
I feel like if you fart loud enough, you cannot ignore that.
No, I can. It's like when someone farts really loud in a meeting.
Does that happen often around you?
It has happened. You just ignore it to make the person not embarrassed.
Yeah, but I don't think the let's not embarrass each other is an energy in the room there.
Yeah, I guess. Otherwise Satoshi-kun might give in. I have to save him. Ooishi drew nearer. Satoshi-kun fell back.
Oh. It won't take much time. Come on, don't be scared.
It won't take much time. He just said it. He just said he wouldn't let him out if he caught him now. Satoshi-kun, don't give in. If you give in now, everything you've been working for will be ruined.
He didn't say anything like that. This is all happening in Shion's head. No.
Satoshi-kun looked like he was at his breaking point. Ooishi was clearly aware of it. Ooishi smirked and held out his arm to grab Satoshi-kun's shoulder. I felt electrified when I saw that.
She's going to attack Ooishi, isn't she?
That hand shouldn't be allowed to touch Satoshi-kun. The moment Ooishi touched his shoulder, he'd give in. He'd go to the police station and confess everything. Do you want to know his alibi? Ooishi turned his face towards me. His hand left hanging in the air. I wasn't very prepared for this. I just had to stop Ooishi no matter what. I only needed to gain some time. It didn't really matter what I said.
That's right. I want to get Hojo-san's alibi. We must not be doing our jobs. We can't seem to confirm his whereabouts at the time of a crime. It's shameful, but we decided to question him in person.
You don't have to ask him. I can confirm his alibi.
No? Really? That would help. You already told me that you were at the festival that night and many people can confirm it. It'd be easier if we could confirm that Hojo-san was with you. But I don't think you mentioned him when I questioned you last time, did you? Are you going to change your statement now? Even though no one at the festival saw Hojo-san, are you going to tell me he was with you?
That's right. He was with me. Wouldn't that be enough?
I know you were there with your other friends that night. I saw that myself. Are you still saying that you were with him? Isn't that a little too hard to believe? Isn't it?
Ooishi approached me with a creepy smile. Was he teasing me because my excuse sounded funny? I didn't think so. Well, you can't really say that. I've seen you at the festival the entire night, and every time I saw you, I spotted you with 3 of your friends. Except this one friend. And suddenly you're telling me this one friend was there all along.
You know what makes this... I'm gonna go full on nitpick about manga and anime and everything using that kind of art style in general. How many people with blonde hair like this do you know? The main characters all have main character hair. How many people with blonde hair and red eyes do you know? Like, they stand out.
That's brown.
That's more red than brown.
That is definitely... Actually, it's a bit more purple, I want to say.
You are more purple.
That is definitely more purple.
Tifa,
That make me put that in Photoshop and try to get the color out of it.
I want to Google Satoshi's hair eye color so hard right now, but I'm not going to because it'll be containing spoilers most likely.
But yeah, it's hard to say here because is that really their hair color?
Yeah. Are you saying they're lying?
Yes.
Oh, Tifa.
He was frustrated due to being interrupted when he was about to catch a big fish.
Are you saying that you forgot you were with him, but just now remembered you actually were? Mion Sonozaki-san.
I did get a little scared, but I couldn't stop myself. I could save Satoshi-kun if I revealed my real identity. I was aware of the risk. Grandma would certainly capture me if I revealed it. I didn't think of the consequences after that. Notebook, page 27.
He said no pickles on his burger. I love that move. Like in every piece of media where the character steps in front of a person they're trying to protect and do the cool, no, you have to go through me. It's such a power move.
It's kind of badass, isn't it?
Yeah. Especially with that music.
I'm not Mion Sonozaki. I didn't go to the Watanagashi festival in the first place.
Huh?
Satoshi-kun and I were talking in a restaurant in Okonomiya at the time. The name of the place is Angel Mort. You can confirm that with the owner if you want. Ooishi was still smirking, but he apparently felt confused.
What are you saying? If you aren't Mion, then who are you?
I'm Shion Sonozaki, Mion's twin sister. Pleasure to meet you, Ooishi-san. Ooishi looked perplexed, like he didn't believe what I said. I would feel pretty tricked. Like, I am... First, I know Jack, and then suddenly there is a schmack, which is telling me that... Sorry, Shaq, who is the twin of Jack.
Tricked, backstabbed, and quite possibly bamboozled. Everybody?
Most definitely.
Yes, it is I. Shaq with a long open hair.
Oh, and when you move it to this side, you're Jack again.
No. See, Jack has his hair behind his head. That's how you can tell it's Jack, usually ponytail. But the one of us that... wait. Full transformation. See, Shaq has long sleeves and his hair down. And Jack has short sleeves or rolled up sleeves, so you can see his forearms and the hair behind his head. I would ask her for her ID.
He frowned.
I cannot do the Ooishi voice while I have my head tilted like this. Give me a sec. I didn't know me and Sonozaki had a twin sister. Are you trying to fool me?
Not at all. Why don't you check my family register or whatever? Should I call Sis? All the cops look bewildered now.
Shion Sonozaki-san.
Yes, that's me. Is there anything wrong?
Can you come with us? If you're testifying that you were with Hojo-san that night, I'll have to talk to you too.
Sure thing. Please go easy on us. The cops gathered at their car and started discussing something. Looked like they never expected this to happen.
Who would? Like, next time I fuck something up at work, I'll pull that move too. It wasn't me you were talking to, it was me. It was I, Dio.
I hope to be able to fake Satoshi-kun's alibi for at least a little while. It shouldn't be too difficult to talk to Sis about this and then forge up an alibi together. No, I think that's gonna happen right now. Satoshi-kun? Tell them you were chatting with me at Angel Mort that night, no matter what they ask, okay? I'll confirm your alibi. Tell them you don't remember that night too clearly, or maybe you should just keep silent. Satoshi-kun wore a startled expression. Though I was telling him something important, he'd apparently decided not to listen.
I think right now he's trying to do the thing in his head that we did through entirety of chapter 2, going like, oh god, when was it Mion and when was it Shion? Like,
can
how?
You hear me, Satoshi-kun? You can't mess this up, okay?
Okay.
He must have been feeling deceived. No wonder. I just confessed that I wasn't Mion but her twin sister. I really had been deceiving him. Are you upset?
Why?
Because I've been fooling you. Satoshi-kun started laughing. He knew all along. I didn't know why he'd laugh. Because he wasn't the type of person who would laugh in order to hide something.
Twins are actually my fetish. I finally understand why you were so weird at time. I finally understand why you were weird sometimes in class. I'd been thinking it was a bit strange.
Aren't you upset that I've been fooling you? Satoshi-kun looked puzzled. It was like he didn't know whether he should be upset about it or not. Or maybe he was only pretending to be that way.
So, this isn't the first time we've met, is it?
Well, yeah, that's right.
Okay. How do you write your name?
With the characters for poetry and sound.
Shion. Huh.
Huh?
That's a beautiful name. Ooishi, we're having a moment. Please. Could you please come with us to the station? We can get you instant coffee or tea if you'd like.
Bloop.
You had me at instant coffee, thank you, sir.
I will accept. All of it. All of your instant coffee.
And then he just snorts the instant coffee powder. These chapters are so short. Notebook page 29.
Either Satoshi-kun was smart, or very lucky. Or maybe it wasn't him. The police found nothing at the crime scene to indicate his involvement in the murder. Yet Satoshi-kun was still the prime suspect. Considering his home environment, he had a strong enough motive. He had no alibi. The police had everything other than physical evidence. It wasn't surprising that Ooishi took a chance. He probably didn't expect me to step in, but what I did was too little to avert his suspicion of Satoshi-kun. Ooishi believed that Satoshi-kun did it. He was waiting for Satoshi-kun to fall apart and confess. That's what both Ooishi and I were thinking. But that hypothesis was destroyed later on. I'll not talk about it now, but Ooishi's theory will be disproven and the police will be thrown into shock. A question comes to mind. That is, who saved Satoshi-kun? I can only think of the possibility that the Sonozaki family invented the culprit.
I think Shion did. I really think Shion did it.
It would make sense for it to be Shion.
I'm biased because the last time Tifa was in a position where she was the main character, the main character also did something, but that happened off screen technically.
That is true.
And here, the window for that happening is actually opened by the game for you with a whole... I didn't want to go to bed because then I wouldn't wake up again today. Also, with Shion's outbursts like this, more and more I'm thinking that in Chapter 2, Shion and Mion were swapped a lot.
Probably, yeah.
As in, I think the person that... No, let me start over. At the very least, at the end, Mion and Shion were swapped. Like, in the entire scene in the torture dungeon.
You think it was Mion in the cage?
Yeah.
That could be.
Because the evil murderer Mion went like, you have awoken the demon, and it was all because you didn't give me that doll at the toy store. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that, but need to put those events more into line again.
Why would being not given the doll mean so much to Mion?
Well, it doesn't really matter for the situation right now.
Yes, it does. I think it does. Because if it still happens that Satoshi leaves after all of this, then at that particular toy store, I'm thinking it's the same one as it happens in Chapter 2.
There's only one toy store.
There's that, plus they use the same art. There's only one person that we know of through the story that has a history linked with this particular toy store and somebody buying an expensive doll, but not for her, and that's Shion. So
yeah, but here it wasn't a choice. Do I give it to her or do I give it to Satoko? Here it's been very clear that he's been buying something for Satoko. I feel like I see the connection you're trying to make, but it seems completely different.
No, because I'm trying to channel my complete all the bad parts of me. So the guy I have a crush on spends all his time away from me because of his stupid little sister. And for his stupid little sister, he works himself to the bone. And for his stupid little sister, he saves up all of his money to buy her that stupid doll because it's so stupid expensive. So the act of being given a plushie, a doll, one of those things, has a very strong negative connotation for me. And then, later on, I'm there, and the guy I now have feelings for, a little bit at least, gets a bunch of dolls and he gives them to everybody except me.
But he didn't give it to everybody except me.
Yeah, true, he only had one, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true. The clerk gave one to everybody. The last one he gave to Keiichi, and Keiichi gave it to Rika, I believe.
It was a doll out of a specific series.
Yeah. Yes, but again, somebody chooses to give a gift I wanted to somebody else. With Satoshi, it's for spending time with me.
I'm disagreeing with you here.
Just you wait when chapter 8 literally tells you. And then Mion and Shion swap places in chapter 2. Did you not realize that? Haha, Tifa,
it's not
you
about
suck.
swapping places, it's about the reasoning. And I don't think that was Shion there. The cops were smart enough to separate us during questioning.
I think that's standard practice.
Oishi didn't come to talk to me. His aim was Satoshi-kun and nobody else. I got a young cop who just talked about ordinary things. He must have been trying to ease me into the interrogation.
How do you talk about ordinary things?
The weather, school...
So, museums. Do you like pillars? Like Greek architecture from like temples? Or are you more of a modern building kind of museum person?
I want to say that doesn't work because it's a museum, it's extraordinary.
I've been to some museums that looked completely boring on the outside. There is this, I want to say there's a toy museum somewhere in northern Germany, a little town. Soltau, I think it is. I've been there as a kid once. Nearby there's a theme park that is, well, relatively big, I guess. Been there a few times as a kid in that little village. And they, I believe, had a toy museum. And it was basically somebody had a really big apartment and put a little installation in there. When you walk through there, it's like 30 minutes, I want to say, when you're done. So I'm saying, I've been to these like little museums, I was like, meh. But when I see a museum that from the outside it looks imposing, it's like this huge, massive building, I'm like, huh.
You have these super small, like little private museums.
I feel like usually when somebody tells you, I have a private museum, that's code for, let's go to my kink dungeon. Anyway, now I've tried to ease Tifa into the interrogation.
When I realized that, the clumsy way he spoke began to frustrate me. Is Satoshi-kun alright? I didn't think Oishi really bought my testimony. He must have been trying to get Satoshi-kun to confess in spite of that. All I could do was pray that he'd keep quiet. The phone on the desk rang, and the cop picked it up. This is Kumagai. What? Alright. I understand. Right away. He hung up and told me somebody had come to retrieve me.
I hope in some alternate universe Kumagai finds his Kumagal.
Looked like Satoshi-kun had to stay. Were they going to continue the interrogation just because he had nobody to pick him up? Although maybe I should have been worrying more about myself. The hack had probably heard about me by now since I revealed my real identity to the police. I couldn't hide any longer. I was going to receive some sort of punishment. I had no idea what she'd end up doing to me. The degree of punishment for a traitor is always severe in the world of the Sonosakis. punishment must be carried out. If it's to protect the family's reputation, it's carried out no matter what. Maybe I should kiss my pinky finger while I still can. I asked the young cop just in case. Hey, did you know that in America, if a condemned criminal gets arrested in a state which has a banned capital punishment, they'll refuse to surrender him to the state prosecuting him if that state hasn't banned it?
What?
She's trying to ask if they will please not hand her over to her grandmother.
Wait. In America, if a condemned criminal gets arrested in a state which has banned capital How do you ban capital punishment?
You know, every state has its own... Isn't capital punishment like death penalty and stuff like that?
I have no idea.
I think that's what falls under that. Huh. Maybe it was too difficult for him.
Yeah, nobody understands that, Shion.
He just looked puzzled. A glossy black car was waiting for me in front of the police station. A few men from my dad's office bowed to me.
It's been a long time, Shion-san.
State decides on their own, if I recall correctly. Yeah, every state has their own laws and punishments.
Yeah, but I would have thought capital punishment is a thing that all of them have. I just assumed, but oh well.
I don't think so. Where's Kasai? Kasai had been helping me ever since my escape from the school. They wouldn't allow him to walk free. How's Sis doing? Does she have something to say about this?
We were only told to bring it to the main house. Please ask her when you get there.
After saying that, he escorted me into the car. Men sat on either side of me. Obviously, they didn't want me to escape. Thinking of Satoshi-kun, I looked back at the police station. Hold on tight, Satoshi-kun. I'll grin and bear it too. The car started off roughly. It was never a good occasion when I went to this house. Except when Mion and I were really small, oblivious of what the Sonozaki name meant for us. I'd been here only when I had to attend boring family councils. The car parked behind the house. Traders aren't allowed in through the main gate. I got out of the car, and it looked like Sis would be the only person to receive me. I almost spoke to her casually, but her cold gaze froze me before I could. It's been a while, Shion. I never expected to see you other than on New Year's. Gave me the chills to hear her greet me in that cold manner. It's a pleasure to see you again, Mion-sama. I feel overjoyed to have the chance to see you other than on New Year's. I responded, trying to sound likewise.
Yeah, you failed that.
Yeah. I should have known that beforehand. Our leader is deeply upset.
Is it me or is the bell sound bugged? I don't know, but it has been playing like this for a while whenever it did start happening. If you mean it keeps ringing.
I wanna say at least in-game it sounds fine. Like slightly, no, not distorted, that's the wrong word. The echo, maybe.
I think it depends on what exactly is meant by bugged.
Fair
The fact that it keeps repeating could also be because we're slow at continuing the text right now.
But it's all good on Psycho's end, so I want to say it's good.
I think I remember the bell sound effect being shorter. Could it be because we're playing with 07th mod? I picked the default setting, which I believe replaces sound effects and music from the console releases. Whatever the default setting is. Could be other settings, yeah. See, I got you.
Blah, blah. Our leader is deeply upset. I wonder how you'll explain yourself. Not. I have nothing to explain.
That's Tifa, not.
Eh? I had no excuse. I'd escaped from the school solely because I couldn't stand it there. That was all. Shion, come this way. Everyone is waiting for you. Mian escorted me and the others followed. We went to the garden, not into the house.
Oh no, the garden is where the dungeon is.
As we passed through the huge yard in the woods, I realized where she was taking me. Oh well, fuck. When we were little, we were told never to go near these woods. I had a vague idea of what was in the back of them. I'd heard there was a hidden entrance to the underground torture room where they used to punish the enemies of the family. The more hideous rumors I heard about the family, the more credible those rumors seemed. Well, I wasn't completely certain about any of that. I'd never expected to see the torture room for myself. We came to a concave clearing in the middle of the woods. I saw a metal door at the bottom of it, and the door reminded me of a bomb shelter. Oh, this isn't good.
I feel like, you know, rumors can be spread about the weirdest things and they are not necessarily true. But if you keep hearing rumors about, hey, aren't you from that family that has this weird torture dungeon in your backyard? And then you hear, did you remember to wash the blood away in the secret evil torture dungeon the other day behind the main house? It's like, maybe there's truth to it.
Mm. Especially if you're in a Yakuza family. Huh?
Yeah.
So this is the underground torture room, huh? I was surprised to hear my own voice. My voice was trembling. It made me realize that I was more scared than I thought. Nobody answered my question. The very air felt tense. According to the family rules, one of the twins must be eliminated. Was I finally going to be eliminated? I realized I had been underestimating my punishment. I hadn't been aware of the real terror until now. I just thought I was. Beyond the steel door, the air had an intimidating smell. This really was happening to me. I shouldn't allow myself to give in to fear. I felt like saying something rude, but my lips were dry, and my fingers were fidgeting.
Fuck you.
I was escorted through the narrow hallway and down a few set of stairs. There I saw another huge steel door. So this was the place.
I hate that sound effect.
That sounds distorted and buggy.
That, like, electricity crackling, powering something up?
Yeah.
No. This is the sound you hear on a taser right before they hit you in the neck with it.
This is the sound I hear before this earpiece usually dies.
Yeah, a little bit. Like a microphone being broken.
Are we sure we want to do the torture room now?
Yes.
Because we're going to have to save in the middle of it, probably.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I love saving in the middle of torture.
It was a space.
Okay.
Well,
Suddenly vibes.
I didn't expect it to change already.
I didn't press anything.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't expect this one. You know, I said earlier how I felt the background sound fits every situation. I feel like this does somehow not fit the situation yet.
Torture Jam. I think, Tifa, this music would make so much sense if you read at the pace they anticipated.
Yeah, probably.
Meanwhile, we're like, talking is a free action, right?
I mean, if you're gonna cut my finger, it better be to a good jam at least.
Yeah, at least put on the good music.
It was a spacious and utterly odd-looking room. The room had two sections that looked completely different. One side looked like a lounge, and I saw several high-ranking members of the family council sitting on cushions there looking expressionless. The other half was tiled as if in a large public bath.
That's where the... yeah.
It's easier to wash. That was already puzzling enough.
There's nothing puzzling about this, Shion.
Why do I think Kasai is gonna get killed at least?
They're making her watch Kasai being Watanagashi.
I think
That's gonna be the punishment.
I think it would make sense for Kasai to get killed.
That's why in the other chapter we also only see Kasai once as Keiichi. Before the Watanagashi, I believe.
Well, it wouldn't make sense.
He drives us home.
Yeah, but then it wouldn't make sense because if he gets killed here, that's like a year before Keiichi's there.
Oh,
but then
true.
Again, different chapter.
Forget about
Could be a slightly different timeline.
Could be Kasai's brother.
Could be. Maybe Kasai has a twin.
Maybe they make Kasai into a cyborg.
This is Kasai, but the other one is Kasai.
Spoilers for Star Wars Episode 1 with Phantom Menace. Maybe it's gonna be like in Star Wars Episode 1 with Phantom Menace, where Obi-Wan cuts Darth Maul in half. But then afterwards I was like, oh my god, he was such a cool character. Because he didn't get any lines. And he was so cool, bring him back. And when they actually did bring him back as a cyborg, where they replaced his bottom half with robot legs. And it looked so weird.
The sound is really messing with me.
Yeah, it sounds like a speaker is broken. My opinion, this theme fits the tragedy of Hinamizawa.
No, I'm not feeling it yet in this situation, but here,
No.
this bit I kind of do, I
No,
guess.
all of it. At the beginning, the distortion of like reality breaking around you, of all of this horrible stuff happening seemingly suddenly and nothing makes sense. It's disorienting, it's confusing. And then you get this like driving like beat, like a march kind of.
Yeah, it's a bit like a war drum sort of thing.
Yeah. You hear the cicadas
Like
in there.
edging it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Edging it on.
Yeah.
What? I don't think you can use
drums.
that word like that.
Yes, you can. You can absolutely say that something is being edged on.
This stream is suddenly turned TOS.
Is that not English? I'm quite sure it's English.
No, it is, Steve. But usually when people are using edging as a verb, it's a completely different context. I don't know if you're aware of youth slang.
No. I look youthful.
I'll explain what people, the denizens of the internet usually understand when people are referring to edging on something, because it has nothing to do with what you want to convey, I believe.
Well, I am old and ancient and I use it in the proper way.
So do they.
And there were those things.
The punchline is porn. Yes. Ultimately, yes.
I mean, you could film a movie here, probably.
Quiet. Sorry, I interrupted you.
And there were those things. To be honest, they had captured my attention from the moment I arrived. I noticed them even before I saw the launch and tiled space. I just didn't want to accept that they existed. I couldn't stand straight. I almost dropped to my knees, but I couldn't. Two young men had been holding me by the arm since I got here. There were oddly shaped things hanging from the wall. I was just refusing to recognize what they were. I knew exactly what they were called. Ah, I see. I understood that those eerily shaped objects were torture devices from hell.
And now the music kicking in makes perfect sense.
Damned fool! How dare you return! The hag, sitting at the front of the lounge, intimidated me in a horrid voice. She kept cursing me for a little while, but she was so incensed that I could barely tell what she was saying. I knew what she was trying to say, though. The hag was willing to forgive my escape from the school. But once I revealed my identity to the police, she had to step in. Since I had disobeyed the family rule, she, as the leader, was forced to punish me. Moreover, there was one thing that bothered her more than anything else. The fact that I covered for Satoshi-kun. The Hojo family had been seen as traitors for the village ever since the dam conflict.
Oh, why though? Why is this why is the kid to blame for this?
Because Satoshi-kun is still considered one of them. She couldn't accept that I was connected to him.
This is like racism. Oh, you were born in the wrong part of this planet, behind an imaginary line.
Yeah, but to these people it makes sense. Blood and bloodline and the history behind it is everything to them. So it wouldn't have made sense if they would see that as something different.
I'm a quote psycho here because I 100,000,000% agree with this. Fuck Oreo and this entire culture of honor.
Fuck those bloodlines too. Pretty tight.
Petty tyrants, yes. It's like, oh, I am better than you because 500 years ago my daddy killed other people's daddies and then they owned this land. Yeah, what did you do?
But that's still how part of this world works.
Yeah, fuck them. Fuck him. And what did you do? Did you do anything to earn this position, or did you win the birth lottery? I have the utmost respect for everybody that gets born into like these rich families, and then they use that opportunity to go on to do great things themselves. But everybody's like, yeah, I'm the heir to the fortune of my family that has been like in the family's wealth for like 1200 years. It's like, congratulations, you just won life. Capitalism-wise, at least. You have so much money you couldn't spend it even if you wanted to. You could burn the money and you wouldn't run out. Now what? Like,
yeah, but it makes sense in this case that they would still see Satoshi and Satoko as traitors. Because they come from the same family.
I don't understand it, and I'm happy I don't. And extorting for hundreds of years, what makes it okay? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's tradition at this point. You don't mess with tradition.
My grandfather's 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 grandfather took this land from the people that lived here, so clearly it's okay that I own it.
To me, this was a bit unexpected. I'd escaped from the school the hack had put me in. All the while I'd believed that that was what she was upset about. But in fact she said that she was the most uncomfortable with my connection with Satoshi-kun. I couldn't believe this. Of course I knew that Satoshi-kun's family was persecuted for their betrayal, but I didn't think that Satoshi-kun was also burdened with that responsibility.
Finally, Satoshi. Finally, Shion says things I can agree with again.
He has nothing to do with that. I understand that his parents were ostracized. But he shouldn't be. Shut the hell up! The hack interrupted me with a shout, which made me cower in fear. She continued slandering the Hojos and said that Satoshi-kun was a cursed child. I started feeling pissed off. What did he do to deserve this? What was he being blamed for? It was too late when I realized I'd said that out loud. The hack looked furious. I'd obviously upset her. I decided to repeat myself to make it very clear how I felt.
Yeah, explain it to us. Explain it to me. If you believe you are justified in your anger towards this child, explain it to me.
We're swapping to confronting a Mega Man boss.
Yeah.
What are you saying, you old hack? Everything you spouted is nonsense.
Give it to her, Shion. Redeem yourself in my eyes.
Huh? Who the hell do you think you're talking to?
I don't give a fuck who you are. Explain it to me.
Shut the fuck up and let me finish. I shouted loudly to silence the hack. What the fuck do you know about Satoshi-kun? How could you talk about him like he's some pest when you don't know anything about him? I know how sweet he is. You don't like him because he's a Hojo? How fucking stupid is that? Is even your brain archaic or what? You hate the fact that the Sonozaki is with a Hojo that much? That's not just stupid, that's beyond stupid. Boy, I never expected to feel like Juliet.
I said that. I called the Romeo and Juliet thing like 2 streams ago.
My voice became hoarse from shouting. My face was messy with tears. Even so, I didn't feel like putting a stop to my emotional explosion. I was all too aware that I was doing this just to overwhelm my fear. The hack was glaring at me while breathing heavily. I glared back at her as fiercely as I could. Eventually, I realized that her sticking point was my relationship with Satoshi-kun. She wasn't only upset that I had a mere connection with him. I see. Looks like Mion mentioned that too. It was as though Mion was wearing a mask. She didn't budge under my penetrating glare. That was what the hack was really unhappy about. The fact that I was in love with Satoshi-kun. I don't give a shit about his family background or my own. Yeah, I'll admit that I'm in love with him. I love Satoshi Hojo-kun. I love him so much. Is that so wrong? Do you need a reason to love somebody? I could see the relatives shaking their heads in turmoil. Among them, I saw my mom. She must have been trying to protect me. But even she wouldn't look at me. Instead, she looked silently at the floor.
a 15, 16-year-old girl in the midst of puberty, who has been locked away effectively for like a year or so, who has been ostracized by her family. She's clinging to people who pay her attention. She's developing feelings. She has a crush.
You don't get to have feelings here.
Yeah, this is the whole royalty bullshit. You must
stand above it.
You must stand there with your back straight. You must be better than all of us. Can't say it enough. Fuck the whole clan. Yes. Yes.
Yep. Did you guys in the back hear me? Am I wrong? You'd know how sweet Satoshi-kun is in an instant if you bother to get to know him. How can you put him down without... Mion held out a hand to silence me. Then she slowly walked in my direction.
And she's gonna slap her.
That's enough, Shion. I understand what you wanted to say. Mion put her head close to mine and whispered. Shion, I know how you feel, but you can't go back after coming this far. You have to pay for what you did. What did I do? Why me? That's ridiculous. Shion. Mion's face turned cold again, and she calmly told me. You're probably right, but this is Hinamizawa, and we are Sonozakis, as I'm sure you understand.
I'm sorry, but you lost the entire argument at you're probably right, but...
We are the leaders of the three families, and you are the twin sister of the successor Mion Sonozaki. Yet, I interrupted her. We haven't agreed on that matter ever since I came back. You're full of this reputation shit. Hinamizawa? The Sonozakis? So what? I don't give a fuck about. Listen. Mion interrupted me, just like I did her. How many people did you depend on to start your new life in Okonomiya? Chills shot through my spine.
Yeah, I was waiting for somebody to bring it up because it's easy to go, I'm not a Sonozaki, I don't care about any of this. Lives rent-free in a building owned and run by the Sonozaki family. Has next door Kasai and whoever else keeps rotating through there, looking after her, bringing her food, bringing her places. The place she works at, Sonozaki.
Who no one else would allow someone like her with the schedule she works at.
Like, if you want to go, I'm rid of all of this bullshit. I don't want anything to do with it. You gotta follow through. You can't just take the parts that are easy. You know, you can't just say, oh no, I don't like the Sonozaki group and all the stuff I do. You actually have to remove yourself. You can't benefit from it in any way, shape or form.
Yeah, but she feels like, it's easy to feel like you have removed yourself while you still go pay for your groceries with daddy's paycheck, basically. But it seems like you are, like, I'm not talking to them, I am actively resisting. Like all the rest, you don't really consider.
I want to say I understand it though. Funnily enough, here I do feel like my 15-year-old self again. I had a very strange relationship with my mother, who amongst other things has actually stolen a sizable amount of money that my grandparents put away for me. And when I learned all of this, I blew up and I got very angry. My mother almost drank herself to death. She is in some institution somewhere at that point when I was like 15, 16, and I broke off contact with her eventually because I fuck that kind of shit, you know, like that's not a person I want to be around with. But for years, for so long, until I met Tifa actually, and when she had to beat that out of me kindly with love, I felt
there were sticks involved.
Like everybody owed me. Like I felt that my family owed me for allowing all of this to happen, for allowing the abuse I lived through to happen. So I felt justified in that. Because why didn't you stop this? Why did you not stop this? How could you not stop this? So clearly, now I should get something back for it. And I started treating people like this. And eventually, that, you know, hatred begets hatred. So I became so deluded with this, like, well, if my family is like this, everybody's like this. I feel like the world owed me. And it wasn't until, thankfully, I met Tifa, who kindly reminded me, yeah, no, that's not how life works here. Everybody's been through shit, and it's okay to suffer, and it's okay to be in pain, it's okay to be angry, but just because something bad has happened to you, random other people have nothing to do with that. But I get it. I get it. Like, in that time frame where I was like, my family at least owes me. They need to make up for what has happened to me. I feel like that's Shion. You wanted me dead since I shouldn't have been born, in your opinion. You were nice enough to let me live, but I had to hide. I am in Mion's shadow, and then you lock me away. So now I come back. I want to live by myself, but it's convenient that I can live here. It's convenient that I can have Kasai to do things for me. It's convenient that I can do these things. Because why wouldn't I take them back? You've done all of this to me. The least you can do now is make my life a bit more comfortable. You know?
I'm not sure if she looks at it in the same way, but I do get what you're trying to say. It's just that she's using the resources she has at hand.
Yeah. And at that point, you know, just because I live in the Sonozaki house here in Okinomiya doesn't mean I agree with the Sonozakis. As she just said, fuck the Sonozakis. I hate all of this. But it's nice to have an apartment, right? It's like...
Also, we should save around here. I mean, where else is she going to stay, by the way?
Yeah, that's a whole nother can of worms. I get that.
The alternative would have been living on the streets.
Yeah, and like I'm saying, I don't blame 15-year-old hurt Shion for doing this and not realizing, wait, I cannot say I hate all of this, I want nothing to do with all of this, but then be complicit in sharing in the bounty of all that brings. Like, where did the money come from that Kasei spent on the food he brought her? He works for the Sonozakis. So, if you don't want anything to do with them, don't eat their food. Don't live in my house. But easier said than done.
The moment he got paid, that's his money.
No, I don't think that's how that works. Sorry.
No, we should save.
A little bit more. Come on, you can't...
I did tell you, the moment we start this, we would have to save in the conversation, because this is gonna keep going.
Yeah, but this is not the right moment.
You get 5 minutes. Chills shot through my spine. Kasai-san is in the cell at the back. Why? Why Kasai?
That's a stupid question.
I knew why, of course. The moment I got caught, those who helped me were destined to meet the same fate. We were all subject to the punishment of betrayal. Maybe my punishment would be lighter than what they'd be going through. Kasai and Uncle Yoshiro must have been treated much worse than this. Everybody who helped me was falling victim. I know that you are prepared for your punishment, but have you ever thought of the consequences that Kasai-san and Uncle Yoshiro will have to face? My head rapidly cooled down. My aggression was all used up. I should be able to bear whatever punishment they bring on me, but I resented the fact that I'd be putting the people who supported me at risk.
I think it's even worse. I think they are the ones who are gonna make Satoshi disappear. Remember, Oyashiro-sama's curse is to first take away everybody you love and then that take you. This seems very much like the human side of Oyashiro-sama's curse.
I wouldn't be surprised if it does turn out that Satoshi is also in a cell right now.
I think we might currently be experiencing Oyashiro-sama's curse striking.
Actually, wait, what I said about Satoshi doesn't make sense because he's in the police station. We went straight here.
As far as we know. He could have been brought here.
True, I suppose. Monty Mama, how are you doing?
Happy Sunday.
Shion, apologize to Granny. If you do, the others won't have to suffer. Alright? But Neon, did I really do something wrong? Was any of what I did that bad?
Yes.
And there were a few things here and there that were a bit bad, yeah.
Sonozaki Jack says yes.
I'm great, glad to hear it.
How dare you have feelings for somebody we don't approve of?
Oh. I'm like, oh, glad to hear you're great, and then you go like, how dare you? I'm like,
I was finishing my line from earlier, which you interjected into.
The moment Neon learned that I wasn't willing to apologize, her expression turned cold again.
I also don't understand this. I never do. Like when we do this in movies and books, like, so you're holding my friends hostage and you have tortured them, you will torture them some more, unless I grovel at your feet. I will freaking grovel at your feet, I don't care. You're not gonna change how I feel. But
yeah, like your principle is worth more than my life.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'd rather now throw my pride away and then live to see another day and still just live my life. But
it's not even that you're throwing your life away. By keep holding on to your pride, you're throwing my life away, basically, as in their life at this point.
Yeah. This is, by the way, also why in real life torture generally doesn't work. Because when you start torturing somebody, they will tell you whatever they think you want to hear just to make it stop. It doesn't work.
It's not as effective. She turned her back to me and returned to the lounge. I talked back to the hag in a really harsh manner. I told her that I didn't do anything wrong. Yet I had involved many people to who I owed so much. It went without saying this was my responsibility. I was the sole person to blame and no fault lay with them. Yes, Kasai and Yoshiro-san were blameless, just as Satoshi-kun was. But then, as if she read my mind, Mion turned around and gave me a slight nod. It was possible that something was going to happen to Satoshi-kun? On top of Kasai and Uncle Yoshiro. Should we save her?
This feels like the worst moment, so yes.
There's a word. This entire chapter is gonna be worst moment.
Yeah, well, I was trying to feel the vibe. Like I think we're nearing the apex of this ride. So.
Well, I think we're still gonna go into what will happen to those two. Like, there's no way they'll just let off. I'm gonna assume this bit is longer, especially since we're at the beginning of the chapter.
If you hate this ending, blame Tifa.
I take responsibility.
Challenge accepted. Skinner, I
have early weeks again next week, aka tomorrow.
You don't need to put yourself through being tortured just to prove a point. I recommend you not do it, actually. I recommend nobody gets tortured on purpose. Unless that's your kink, then no kink shaming. I mean, it's not for me, but you do you.
Like a curiosity torture, maybe.
I do the torturing. No, that's illegal, Skinner. There's a reason for that. I'm pretty sure. I want to argue that every country has what does America call it? Enhanced interrogation techniques.
Yeah,
I think that's the euphemism that is being used. Enhanced interrogation. Was the program of systematic torture of detainees by the CIA? Yes, that's what I'm looking for.
Was.
Yeah, but I think most countries have banned torture.
Yeah, but you can ban it, doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Yeah,
it's banned to the public eye. I am 100% convinced legally, it still happens behind closed doors.
There was this case a bunch of years ago. Let me see. You go into the curiosity torture Tifa. I quickly Google something when I can tell you the story.
Yeah, the curiosity, like just turn. Like, I don't need to be 100 like fully tortured, but there are some things where you want to go like, oh, I'm kind of curious, like getting tasered. Like, I don't need my bones broken or anything. Waterboarding, I can do that to myself actually, but I would like to try that once. So yeah, but like stuff like that. Like, my bones can stay intact.
I would like to remind everybody.
Like a little little bit curious.
Maybe at some point you thought, Jack, we didn't need the banners. Yeah, we do. We really do.
That's what I mean. Like the way you can tap out, you know what I mean?
Where you have a safe word.
Yeah, exactly. That curiosity torture.
The safe word is more. It took way too long.
Also, as I was taking some bottles out of my room earlier to sort off my recycling, can confirm, Tifa, you may not want to say edge off IRL.
Yeah. Yes.
People have taken this innocent word of edging on. Also, I said edging on, not off.
That's not better. Just skip the E word.
No, I will stick to the English language for once. People are trying to change what these things mean.
By the way, since I know Skinner is a very big fan of Sony and the PlayStation 5, I want to remind everybody that, since we're talking about edging right now, Tifa is, Sony has released a controller called the DualSense Edge. Coincidence? I think not. I'm just saying.
And we even have a browser called Edge.
Which nobody uses. I think partially because of the double meaning of the word.
I doubt it.
Back to torture, for real for a moment. In 2002, Mirror's Edge, yeah. If you're really nasty. In 2002, a kid got kidnapped and eventually murdered. And the Kriminalhauptkommissar, was it? No, somebody. One of the detectives working the case, Wolfgang Daschner. Eventually they caught the guy that they thought did the kidnapping and the murder. And they talked to the guy and he interrogated him. And Daschner said in the process that happened afterwards, he knew he did it. He knew. The clues that they had, 99% sure. They couldn't prove it, they couldn't nail him down to it, there wasn't enough, but he in his gut knew. So he assaulted the guy. And in the process, he did give up the information where the body was, and then they recovered the body of a then dead kid that was kidnapped. And
so he did do it.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to turn out to be,
no,
he was innocent.
He did assault him, he did torture him, and in the enhanced interrogation, he told him what he wanted to hear. And then they found the kid. But then, the person who did this, Daschner, they pressed charges on him because he assaulted the kidnapper.
You acquired this information in an illegal way, so it isn't valid.
Yes. And I'm not going to go through the whole Wikipedia article. You can look it up yourself. I think it's only in German. Here, throw it
it's
through.
Only in German.
Just turn on Google Translate or whatever, or in your browser.
Yeah, but what's the...
He was found guilty in the end. They got a warning and a punishment of just under 11,000 euros. And this whole process sparked a huge debate in Germany about whether or not torture should be legal or not. Because on one hand, everybody agrees that no, torture should be illegal. You should not be allowed to torture. That should not be allowed. On the other hand, especially after it came out that they got the guy. They got the guy. And if he didn't do what he did, they might not have ever found the body. It's like, legally, no. Morally, I shouldn't have paid nothing. The guy was guilty.
It's seen as two in court. It's two completely different cases. It doesn't matter
the
what
question,
he did.
If I recall, I'm not a legal expert, But the question in the process wasn't, was he justified morally? Did he break the law? And he did. Legally, he broke the law. What he did was illegal. He attacked this person. He's not allowed to. So he had to be punished. I understand that. I really think that the punishment he was given, just like the $11,000 and a penalty, like a stern talking to, I feel like that is like the least the judge could do to make sure, okay, we do uphold the law, we show people that it's illegal, but the country basically stands behind this guy.
If he was innocent, I can imagine the punishment would have been a bit higher. Because then you need to get justice for the innocent guy that did not murder a kid.
He didn't, like, I think he just severely beat him up. I mean, that sounds wrong. He hurt him. Enough. But
I mean, it's a hard line. Or a fine line, not a hard line.
yeah, I think I also recall him being interviewed, and he was like, I'm not proud of what I did. I acted as a human, not as a police officer, not as an officer of the law. I know that this was wrong, I shouldn't have done it, but I think he said something like, anybody who would have been in that room with me would have done exactly the same thing, especially if you have children.
I mean, it is really frustrating if you know he did it. Like, let's say you saw it, but you can't prove it, and you know this person did it, but he's just walking away with it because there's no evidence. That's just frustrating as fuck.
It's like, if it was your kid, what would you do? If somehow you were in the room with a person you have clues did it, you don't know, you don't have it confirmed, but it's your child, what would you do? And
yeah, but it makes it hard. Am I against torture? No. But do I think it should be a standard way of interrogation? Also no, because like you said, if you do torture an innocent person, he will confess to everything. Most people will confess to a lot of things. So it's also not a way...
Torture statistically doesn't work. Statistically, it doesn't work. The numbers speak against it. Besides the moral arguments.
But do I think it should
making those go away?
Allowed in prevention? Let's say you have leads on terrorists who might be able to cough up some bigger fish.
Okay,
then I would say yes.
Yeah, but then,
once again,
then they grab you because you have a foreign last name, and then they start tasing you.
Can I sign up for the curiosity torture?
Can we do a trial?
Okay, more. That was the code word, wasn't it?
I don't think they'll know that or understand that. PSA, if you are in a situation where you use a safe word, make sure that the safe word is something that is clear and not something that would usually happen in a conversation. Like, for example, Salvador Dali, because I just read Salvador, you know? You wouldn't normally be in a kink dungeon with things being put into your body, and then you go, I love the pictures painted by Salvador Dali. Unless that's your thing, then use a different safe word. But more is a bad safe word, I would think. It can be very misunderstood. And Salvador arrested everyone with a clan tattoo, maybe some innocent people among them, but the murder rate went down hard. Understandable. I want to say the amount of innocent people that accidentally had a known clan tattoo should be very low. And I feel like if you're a fan of a illegal clan that does horrible shit, maybe you're not the greatest person either. You might be legally innocent, but maybe just for being arrested and being interrogated, and they look into your background and then they tell you, hey, maybe next time don't put that on your body, might act as like a warning sign. I
mean, it's like if I would now tattoo a swastika on my arm.
What?
A...
You turned around the T and the S. You said swastika.
Oh, well, whatever.
Hakenkreuz.
If I put a Nazi symbol on my arm, I could mean the Indian symbol of peace.
No, you don't.
But the chance is very small that is what I was going for. You know what I mean?
No. No.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, how high is the chance that you put an actual plant tattoo, which I'm guessing isn't just a random...
It's a little cat. Imagine.
A lot of people would be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, hard subject.
I admit being a utilitarian is easy when it's not you on the chopping block. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Buddhist symbol is not angled by 45 degrees. Yeah.
Yeah, but my tattoo artist was sitting off, you know.
I tilted my arm the wrong way. Either way, like, I want to say, if you do have that tattooed on your body and the police does grab you and go like, hey, I have a problem with this. Let's talk about this. It's not like they just shoot you in the head. If you have a symbol on your body, or on your clothing for that matter, that clearly looks like Nazi memorabilia, I'd rather they grab you first and then have a stern talking with you. And if it then turns out that Tifa actually has spent years traveling Asia and she refound herself in Buddhism, or I don't actually know where they use the swastika as a sign of luck.
But that's what I'm saying.
And she found herself in that.
You need some sort of proof or even a good reason for it. You can't just, for example, torture everyone because you have a suspicion.
And that's why I'm on team torture should be illegal. Because, listen, this is gonna sound wrong too, I guess, but I wanna say, we all have seen action movies, right? We've all seen the scene where the good guy grabs the bad guy by the lapel and just knocks him in the face. And then he gives up the code to the bombs and then they save the day.
Satisfying.
I want to say, everybody, just, if you ask any person on the street, do you believe that our special ops military forces do torture people in certain situations? I want to say the majority would say yes. So, given that we know that sometimes governments, any government really, does things off the books, you know, black ops, stuff that is so redacted, if you ever get the document, it's just like the date, if that, and then and then the rest is just all blanked out. Do I think it should be illegal? Yes. Do I think it would happen regardless under certain situations? Yes.
Well, yeah, it's still all humans. But back to happier topics.
Talking about torture. Are we starting Shenmue on Tuesday?
We are, I said happier topics.
Why are you so spiteful?
But yeah, we are starting Shenmue 2 starting Tuesday.
We're starting Tuesday. Want to rerun that line?
I said we're starting Shenmue 2. Oh, starting Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Oh well.
Shenmue 2, Electric Boogaloo. You know it. Yes. Tuesday, Shenmue 2, be there or be square. It's also really funny that we're playing Shenmue 2 on Tuesday. It's almost like it was meant to be like Shenmue Tuesday. Get it? I'm gonna make that a thing.
Doesn't work.
I'm gonna make that a thing. Oh, it's a square. I was like, wait, why does the emote not load? It looked a bit like the default thing when it. Yeah, nice. I get it now.
Oh well.
So Higurashi continues on Friday?
Yep.
You have to wait almost a week to learn what happens to Shmion and family and friends. Thanks, Tifa.
Thanks to you.
What do you mean, thanks to me?
I would have saved before, and then you wouldn't even have known what happened already.
Yeah, let's end every Higurashi stream after one sentence so that the stakes don't get too high. Oh god, she's actually thinking about it.
No. I'm just saying, I'm trying to avoid these situations where we have to save at moments like this.
Yeah, I was gonna have that. Unless you've already played all of this.
That's what I'm saying, I'm trying to avoid it.
Don't jinx it.
You go straight into it. And then I'm to blame.
Ben always gets his game. You know it. We've bugged her long enough. It's happening.
Tuesday.
You're gonna hate it.
I probably will.
And I'm gonna hate it even more than you will.
You probably will.
Hey, I got 2 of my games played, fair enough. Yeah.
We still have a lot of games to play.
Yeah.
The only reason I've now agreed to Shenmue 2 is to not have too much time in between it. Because sometimes we take a break for too long before starting a next game. And then you also feel like too much time has passed because you don't remember anything out of it.
Like?
Especially with a game with a story.
When was the last time it happened?
Some of the other games we've played.
Yeah, name one.
I don't even remember what we played last year. That's the whole problem, isn't it? No, but like Higurashi, look at now from beginning until now. Yes, and we are now playing more in a row, but I don't remember.
I will remember Asian Golem forever.
That too.
Yes.
But like with, I forgot the time travel games.
999, Virtue's Last Reward, and 010 Dilemma.
For example.
What about it?
That it helps if you don't play them too far apart.
Yeah, we didn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, it helps!
Yeah, but...
We have also played games where there was too much time and
okay,
I didn't
name
remember
one.
Shit. I don't remember, that's the whole point!
Because it didn't happen.
Yes, it definitely happened. We've had some months in between
So
games.
name one.
I don't even remember all the games we have played! Why are you being such an ass?
Tifa is channeling her Sonozaki family.
Go back 4 years and there have been games.
No, Tifa, the thing is, when you make a statement claiming something, you are the one that has to prove it, right?
Fine, Tuesday I will come with the games after I have remembered what we even have all played. See, it's been too long, so I don't even remember. There's your proof.
It's almost like on, I believe it was the 3rd of January. Let me double check. Oh, I'm so petty. Yes, this year our first stream was the 3rd of January and we played, I believe, Super Mario Party Jamboree. And before we started playing Super Mario Party Jamboree, we did a recap of all the games we beat last year.
Yeah, and I don't even remember what's on there anymore.
That's on you.
Exactly. So if you put too much time in between the games, you don't remember. Am I not proving my point exactly here?
No, because you still can't come up with a single example.
All of the games that I do not remember, put them on the list.
Tifa,
all of them.
You don't remember
all
what you had for
them.
breakfast.
Exactly. That's the whole point.
It was croissants.
Oh, yeah.
One of which was filled with chocolate.
That
and the other
the
2 she
point.
ate with raspberry marmalade.
I'm pressing this button.
Tifa has pressed the button. Thank you everybody for Higurashiing with us. We'll be back on Tuesday with the beginning of Shenmue 2. See you then. Bye!
Bye!
Thank you, thank you.